I really felt like for once I connected with the Germans. Your bread actually goated, which pains me to say. I think British cuisine is better.
Oh,
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Trash Taste Podcast. I'm your host Joey, and I'm with the boys as per usual, but we're in a different location.
Yeah.
Where are we?
We're back in England, baby. Let's go.
We're back in the UK.
very gracious of the sidemen to let us take over their set today.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've got these nice little sidemen. Why don't we have branded
Cinnamon,
cushions?
look at that, look at that.
We need branded cushions.
Every time I go to a different YouTuber studio, I'm like, God damn, everyone has so much space.
Yeah, it's like our studio shit.
But we just finished our European tour.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Literally yesterday.
So literally the grind doesn't stop. We finished 9 shows and then we're like, let's record a bunch of podcast episodes because we have not had enough of talking.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know.
Was it 9 shows or 10 shows?
It was 9 shows.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 9 shows we've
Yeah.
done. But like, unlike the America tour, it was way... Would you say it was more intense or less intense?
It was more and less intense at the same time. And unfortunately, we don't have a beer on us, so we can only like cheers with our drinks. But cheers to...
Sorry, I gotta hold
cheers.
the mic and cheers with the wine.
Cheers
Gamer Sup
to, cheers to another tour over, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the America tour, we had, I think, 24 shows in 6 weeks.
Yep.
So many.
6 or 7 weeks, and in this tour we had 9 shows in about a week and a half.
Yeah,
So
which
technically it was more intense, but I think just because it was like a way shorter time, it felt less intense overall.
Yeah, I think because like near the second half of the tour, we got a lot of questions being like, oh, you know, we saw the schedule, like you guys did like 6 shows in a row in 6 days in 5 different countries. Does that not just like fuck you up? And like, I don't know. Because we did 3 shows in a row for the America tour, right?
Yeah.
Like right near the
and
end.
I felt dead.
Yeah,
after the
that
third
fucked us
one.
up. So
Yeah.
so I was dreading the 6 days in a row thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh god, I'm gonna be dead by the end of it. But weirdly enough, it wasn't that bad.
No, I
don't know why.
I mean, I think the reason why is because America all looks the same, and it was
That's true.
it was fucking my head up when I would travel 15 hours and it looked exactly.
It
the
looks
same.
exactly the same.
Like a lot of the like middle America looks so similar.
That is true.
So
Yeah.
I think just waking up in a new kind of setting every time, it's like, wow, cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of the countries were all about first time, right? So
Yeah.
it was a little bit more exciting, I feel.
Yeah, and like I think like comparing to some of the American cities that we went to some amazing American cities, and then we also went to fucking Ohio as well. And
Yeah,
there's
there's no Ohio's on this.
yeah, there is a big difference between waking up and being like, oh, I'm in Amsterdam today, or wait, Copenhagen, Stockholm, and then waking up and seeing a COD zombie map, and I'm like, oh, we are performing here.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm celebrating my birthday here.
yeah.
Shit.
So the vibe was just very different, just because every city, every country was just a different culture. We tried different foods every day.
Yeah.
So that's enough of it being nice. We got to tier list the countries now.
Tier list the countries.
Tier list the
let's not go-
countries.
Let's say
All right, racism
no,
speed
no,
run.
no,
All
no,
right,
no.
all right. So,
Okay, first of
what
all-
we found out, gladly, let's just get this out. France is the Ohio of Europe. That is something that we have found out. I'm so glad because I thought it was going to be the UK. Funnily enough, not many countries clowned on the UK.
Yeah, for context, in the show, we ask the audience to name a country in Europe they would not like to be isekai to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And France was generally number 1.
Yeah.
There were only a few exceptions, like when Sweden and Denmark wanted to beef it out.
Yeah.
But everyone pretty much said France all the time, which
Yeah.
I was proud of. as a British man.
because like as someone who's not from Europe, I didn't know that as just a thing.
Yeah.
Well, what do Australians like? French people?
We're like.
Do you have any opinions on them?
Yeah,
Not really. Not really. Because
Yeah, I
it's
figured
just
as much.
so far away where it's like, I mean, you're never going to interact with like French people from France in Australia. Like
Yeah.
maybe every now and then. So it's like, I don't know. We're too busy beefing with New Zealand. you
Yeah,
know?
I was going to ask, if we do a show in Australia, do you guys think you'd put New Zealand on
Oh,
there?
100%. I would be shocked if New Zealand is not at least in the top
Or
three.
fucking Tasmania or something? Fucking
Hey, I don't know. I've never been to Tasmania. Might be nice. Who knows? I'm not gonna jump to conclusions there.
Yeah.
All right, tier list, food rating, European.
Tier
Food
list,
rating?
Food rating. All right, fucking Denmark hot dogs changed my
Goated.
life, man.
Actually goated.
I went to
Oh.
spent 6 weeks in America. And I think I had one hot dog and I was satisfied. I had 2 days in Denmark. I had 4 hot dogs and that was not enough for
4
me.
hot dogs?
I had 4 hot
I had
dogs.
3.
I only had 2. Wow. I
Wow.
love sausages. Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a sleeper hit. I mean, I'd never heard of people saying that hot dogs in Denmark are good.
No,
No.
I don't,
But then apparently all Danish people were like, yeah, hot dogs are good.
yeah.
But why aren't they like flaunting it more?
Well, because I think it's someone was saying it's owned by the government or something. Like,
Yeah, it's government subsidized, right? Or like control, like the quality is controlled by the government or something.
which is so big brain. Because,
That's same in Sweden as well.
Yeah, so because all the hot dogs are just great.
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah.
fucking good.
And they had you had like different toppings on it as well. So you could basically build your own hot dogs with some of these stands. And so many of these stands, so there wasn't really like a hot dog kind of like brands that you buy there. Or most of them were like,
I think it was a brand.
Was it?
well, there were brands, but a lot of them, there were just a lot of independent sellers as well.
Oh, okay, right.
And
Yeah.
like some of the hot dog stands had just like homemade sauces and all of them were just godlike.
Dude, I knew it was gonna be goated because the first hot dog we had was the airport hot dog.
Yeah.
And like normally airport food, you're kind of just like, you know,
was-
give or take. But
Yeah.
we had it and we were just like, oh my god,
It was
this
such
is
a big brain idea. I've never seen an airport do this. In Denmark, as you're waiting for your bags, there's just tons of food and drink places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally like 10 meters from where you get the bags.
Why do airports not do that?
Because they want to make you feel like shit.
Yeah, clearly.
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some weird rules around selling it at the baggage. I don't fucking know. Because no one does this.
No,
Yeah.
I've never seen
But
it.
like it was because I wasn't gonna have a hot dog because I wasn't even hungry. Then we were just waiting for baggage, and I think our bags were late. And then I think it was one of you two that was just like, "I'm gonna get a hot dog." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right, you know, I've been to America. I've had hot dogs before. I don't want a hot dog in Denmark. Ew." And then I saw the hot dog, and it was the fattest looking hot dog I've ever seen with all these different kinds of toppings.
Glizzy Max.
Trash taste conversation. Fucking 10 minutes gushing over a hot dog. It is really good. I
Yeah.
do recommend it.
Glizzy.
I mean, Copenhagen is renowned for having some of the best food
Yeah.
in the world. But my God, their glizzy's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
And do you know what sold me? Do you know the biggest thing that sold me?
What?
The hot dog was like twice the size of the bun. Yeah. You know, sometimes you have a hot dog and it's just a fucking tiny
It's
ass
all
hot
bun.
dog with all bun.
Yeah.
and-
Controversial opinion. I kind of like it when the hot dog
Oh,
fits the
fuck
bun.
off.
Why is that bad? Why is that bad?
No. Like,
if I had to choose, I would definitely choose the more sausage.
yeah.
on the bun.
You got to have a few bites with just the dog and then the dog
I
with
don't
the
mind
bun.
a little bit of like tip poking out, but I don't want like full on.
We gotta stop.
I don't want full on inches poking out of the dog. You know what I mean?
Stop, bro.
Because there's no way you can sauce it and it'll be stabilized on the hot dog.
No,
You know what
because
I
I want to taste like a little bit of like what the hot dog tastes by itself, you know? I want to have the taste of the meat and then you have like the combination afterwards and then you end up
mean?
with
You
a
just don't
bit.
like bread. So
Actually, well, I've been on a fucking bread odyssey on this Europe trip. So in every single show, I got asked the question, so Garnt, has your opinion on bread changed?
Yeah.
And I can confirm that bread does taste different, guys. What can I
Wow.
say?
Then
What a
Garnt-
revelation.
What bugged me, Garnt, is that you were coping and you were like, we just don't have good bread in the UK. And I was like, no,
We
Garnt.
don't. Okay,
We do.
I
We do.
stick by that.
We do.
I
have
stick
good bread.
by that.
You just never looked for it, Garnt.
Well, like,
Listen, it's okay. It's okay.
if
You
it's
can-
not
you can
easily
say-
accessible,
you can say you
look,
grew
I
up in
go
a
to the
Thai
fucking,
family.
I go to the fucking Tesco's, I go to the Sainsbury's, and it's all
If
the
it's
fucking
not
same
directly
fucking
in front of
breads.
me, it doesn't
That's
exist.
like going to fucking 7-Eleven in America and being like, why is there no fresh food?
Well, you go into fucking Europe and you trip over like a bakery every time. You go
Listen,
into a restaurant and they give you like a basket of bread every fucking time. Would you get that in fucking spoons? No, you don't. Do you get that?
You went to spoons.
Well, that's the point, right?
Look,
It's
you
just
can-
not as like easily.
It's not as like common, but we have it. It's there, Garnt. You should-
I'm sure we have it, but like that's like saying, okay, yeah, I want to
have it.
find a good Italian restaurant. You have to search up Italian food. You know, that doesn't mean it's like.
what?
No,
What argument
sorry,
is
sorry,
that?
sorry.
Can you believe I have to look up a restaurant?
No, if you want like good food that is not from like your cuisine, then you
Yeah.
have to like look up a restaurant that's not only does the cuisine but does it well, right? In the UK, it's just harder to find access to good bread, and the most mass-produced bread. It's just the same old fucking
I like the
white
mass-produced
bread.
bread. I like it.
Okay,
I like it.
okay. That's
I like it.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh, we actually have a tier list.
we have a tier list.
That's
actually set up
That's
right
so
here.
handy. Oh wow, we have them already. Okay, this is actually super helpful.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start from the top actually. So the first stop was Ireland.
First up was Ireland.
Okay, we have Ireland there.
Yeah.
Ireland was solid,
I think
which is like the nicest thing I can say without talking shit.
I really, really fucking love Ireland.
Yeah.
I do think Dublin is I wouldn't even say like the worst place, just like the weakest place that Ireland has. Because you go outside of Dublin and everything's fucking beautiful. And you go to Dublin and it's just like, oh, what's there to do there? There's the Guinness factory and there's whiskey
Yeah, I
tasting.
will say, I've never seen a higher concentration of white Americans than in the Dublin tour.
I think I saw more Americans in Dublin than I think Irish people in Dublin.
No,
Yeah,
100%.
I'd never. I can't even imagine. Maybe like the Daytona 500 is where you would see that many other white people, but it was insane. It was the entire Guinness tour was just Americans.
Really?
And actually, to be fair, one thing that we learned while we were in Dublin is that apparently they're obsessed with Chinese food. Like Ireland has an obsession with like their version
Yeah,
of Chinese food.
yeah.
Because John took us to some Chinese food, and it was good, but I don't think it stood out compared to the other countries we went to.
Dog, I ain't going all the way to Dublin to eat Chinese food.
Well,
That's not how that works in my mind.
I think Ireland could go in. Oh God! Oh yeah, spice bag. That's like a
Spice
common
bag.
We
thing.
didn't
never
have a
got to
spice
try
bag.
that.
Yeah, we didn't know that was a. I don't know if it's a Dublin special or an
Okay.
Ireland special.
If Ireland's food was like not compared to the other countries that we're talking with here, it would be a solid. It would higher. But I think because we have these other countries, we need to thin out this tier list.
Yeah.
I want to say C tier.
C tier?
Yeah.
Oh, are we talking about just the food or
Just food only.
Just the food.
Vibes
food.
don't count.
Vibes don't count.
No, because then that's we're tier listing countries, and that feels weirder.
Racism speed run.
I think we do the food, and I think Ireland is a solid C. I think Irish people will agree because Guinness, if unless we're counting Guinness as food, then
Yeah.
I mean, it's liquid food, that's for sure.
I mean, I will say B just for the Guinness
Okay, you're
alone.
just being
I
nice.
had too
Okay.
much fucking Guinness.
Yeah,
and-
I'm gonna rate the Guinness and I'm gonna put it in a B.
yeah,
So-
fuck's sake. Now I seem like an Ireland
Guinness counts
hater.
as a meal, right? That's
Yeah.
definitely
That's
a meal.
100% that's a meal.
100% that's a meal.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Sure.
our second show was in Copenhagen, in Denmark.
S tier.
And, I mean, S tier.
S tier.
Are we basing that just off the hot dog?
Yes, the hot
the
dogs were
glizzy
that.
alone.
The hot dogs
is
were that
a triple
OP.
S tier.
Yeah.
We
triple.
also had Thai food.
Which actually was some of the best Thai food I've had not in Thailand. That was insane.
It was very wholesome. I was like, Garnt, can you talk Thai to them?
Yeah. They were like, I think that the woman over there is Thai.
Yeah.
No, because you don't understand, right? When you go to a restaurant that is Thai outside of Thailand and the staff are Thai, if they know that one of you speaks Thai, it's just a different restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
It's just it's a different meal.
And so I think this is, I think anyone from like Southeast Asia or maybe like even like the South American countries can like relate to this. But so, you know, the person running the restaurant was kind of like a Thai auntie kind of thing, you know. She was, you know, obviously an older Thai woman, and we come in, we start off speaking English, you know, she gives us the normal treatment, and then as soon as I start speaking Thai, she goes on full auntie mode. All right, she and because I asked her in Thai, yo, I'm looking to, you know, show my friends some good Thai food. Do you like, I was thinking of ordering this, and she goes, okay, one thing about Asian, especially Southeast Asian like aunties, anyone who's been to a family gathering knows the men don't run shit. It is the aunties that call the shots, okay? You may think the men run things in Southeast Asia. No, once the aunties want to do something, they are getting it done.
They're the secret mafia
Yeah,
boss.
they are the secret mafia boss.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm thinking of ordering this, and she goes, no, I'll order for you. You need this, and this.
It was all really good.
Yeah, and it was insane.
fair,
Yeah.
We also went to some other kind of, I think we went to like a Danish restaurant where it was like lamb. And
Yeah, that's right.
some other stuff. It was pretty good. I honestly, you guys said S tier. I think hot dogs are carrying it, but I think it's A. I think it's A tier.
Nah, like,
The hot dogs are S tier. 100% agree. If we have a separate category of
I
hot
don't know,
dogs,
man. That lamb was pretty dope.
it was good,
in
but
my
I feel
opinion.
like we had better meals. Well, actually, we didn't all share the same meals though as well. So
That is
we can
true.
argue.
That is true.
Yeah. No, I still think
I'm still
think it's
sticking it on
tier.
S tier.
I'm sticking with S tier. You may say the hot dogs are carrying, but I'm happy for hot dogs to solo carry. Those hot dogs are life changing. I cannot have an American hot dog ever again because I'm just going to be thinking how much better the Danish hot dogs are.
Listen, I think the Costco hot dog has a soft spot in my heart.
Get the fuck out of here,
It's
dude.
$1.50 for the combo.
What are you saying? The Costco hot dogs are better than the Danish glizzies?
I did not say that. I said it had a soft spot in my heart because they're cheap, affordable, and they're great.
I can't go back, man.
Okay,
I can't
listen,
go back.
okay. Question then.
Okay.
Did you have a better meal than in Denmark? Was there a meal that you had? Don't tell me where, but do you think you had a meal that was better than Denmark? Because we can't have too many S tiers
A meal that was better than Denmark?
in your head. For you, Joey.
No.
Okay, gone.
I have one that was equal.
Okay,
Denmark.
I know which one it is.
Okay, yeah. We
had-
both know
we had the same meal.
we both know which one it is.
Okay, we went,
Yeah.
after Denmark, we went to Amsterdam, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
look at that
forgot
beautiful.
what we
Look at that
had.
beautiful glizzy. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look how long that is. $1.50 for
That's too much
all
bun,
that.
bro. Too much bun.
That
What
looks
are you
like
talking
that
about?
looks like it's a $1.50 hot dog,
No,
man.
oh
Come
my
on.
God.
Where are the toppings, man?
Did
that,
you know?
that looks naked compared to some of the Danish.
There is a topping station, Garnt. Did you know that if the hot dog Costco had gone with inflation, as in like when it was originally priced at $1.50, it should be like $4.50 something.
Yeah, didn't the Costco hot dog go up in price at one point? And
No.
then-
The CEO or the COO, one of them, was in a meeting and was like, I will kill you if you raise the price of the hot dog. it was great. He was like, you will not raise, because they lose money on the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Which I just love that they're like,
We're making so much
passionate.
money. Yeah.
They're making so much money at other places. Like, we cannot raise this fucking hot dog price.
There will be
Anyway,
a public outrage.
We
No,
went to-
because what I would like about the Danish hot dogs is that there's not just one. You have like so many different varieties
Okay,
as well.
yeah.
You have some of the spicy hot dogs, the bacon wrapped hot dogs,
Yeah,
and
look
you
at
know the usual
God
hot
damn.
dogs as well. The thin hot dogs. There's just so much choice. I don't
this
know
a
how this is
beautiful
even an
information?
argument.
Look at this. That's such value that you get with the Costco hot dog. You
Holy
can't.
shit.
How can you bet again? $4 it should cost.
It hasn't changed since the 80s.
No,
crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's fucking
40
wild.
years of value.
God
That's
damn.
just beating inflation.
Yeah, I just absolute. I mean, I think that them keeping that price at $1.50 has done more good PR for Costco than anything else.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. So after that, we went to Amsterdam.
Well, Rotterdam and then Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is a little bit biased because this is the only country where we did 2 shows in.
I don't remember the meals I had.
Yeah.
Actually, no. You know what? Despite the French, best croissant of my life. I had it
Really?
in Amsterdam.
Yeah, actually, I agree.
It was serious shit because we were sitting down in the cafe and we could smell the croissants and we were like, oh, can we get one of those? She's like, oh, it takes 30 minutes. It's baked to order.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh.
like, okay.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Let's do
No,
it.
I had the best. I can't remember what it's called. What's the one where it's like a poached egg and hollandaise sauce?
Eggs Benedict.
Eggs
Eggs Benedict.
Benedict.
I had the best eggs Benedict of my life.
Really?
In Amsterdam. Yeah.
It was good. There's one core memory I have for it though. I'm calling you out, Nabby. Nabby, we were in this cafe, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of it was kind of slow. But there's like one thing you can never do in European restaurants.
Yeah.
You cannot do this.
Which you do in Japanese restaurants.
Right.
So we're sitting down, and you know, I was on a bit of a time crunch, and we were just kind of trying to get their attention. And then Nabby goes from across the restaurant, goes, "Excuse me."
And you can see and you can see me and Connor just recoil into our seats like this and like no.
It was only made
no.
worse by the fact that she goes, "Yes, I'm coming." And, I was like, "No,
Taboo.
you
Yeah.
can't do that.
That was
You can't
taboo,
do that."
Nami. Why'd you do that, bro?
You got to do
Yeah.
at most. You can do the half hand raise.
Yeah,
You can
you
do
just like the way we
The
do
little
it.
little
The way we do it in
thing.
Europe is you awkwardly wait for like eye contact and you're just like, excuse me.
Yeah, it's a very inefficient system.
Yeah.
We could do with the sumimasening, but I think people would abuse it.
Yeah,
That's true.
But
Yeah.
I think the croissants would helped. And I've been to France a lot. That was the best croissant I've ever had in my life.
Okay,
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I don't remember a single meal.
Are you rating it C tier then or B tier?
Like, I can't even rate it. I don't remember anything I ate.
I had something called wild beer.
What?
wild beer.
I went to this cafe. I thought it was for food, but I guess it was beer. And I kind of felt pressured into getting a beer because the guy was like, "We don't have anything but beer." And I was like, "Okay." It was a cafe. So I was like, okay, does he have coffee? He's like, no, just beer. And he was like, do you want something basic? He said the word basic.
Okay.
Or
Right.
do you want something interesting? So yeah, it's. I guess it's kind of like this. Yeah, it's. They're pulling it up now. It's like this. It wasn't like a brand. It was like a style of beer. And I knew it was kind of weird when he brought out a glass bottle and it had a cork in it.
What?
And he uncorked the beer, and it tastes like wine, and it was like 9%. And it was extremely sour. And he was trying to
talking about this.
Yeah, he was trying to explain to me what it was, and I couldn't for the life of you tell me. It sounded like he was like, yeah, we just throw it in the casket and then we open it up and figure it out.
That's wild looking.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe Amsterdam. I don't know what on earth it was. Yeah, it just keeps coming up the same thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to. It was. Yeah, he said it was like they have it in like a keg and they bottle it and put it in a cork. It was so interesting.
Oh, I do though remember actually. It's not a meal, but I do remember a core memory. Because we went to McDonald's. That's the one meal I remember.
You went to Amsterdam and you're like, I'm going to try the peak.
You saying that, you can't now put them low because then it'll seem like you just copped out.
I mean, I'm not saying anything. It's up to you guys. But
Okay.
like the one core memory I had was like it was me and a bunch of the crew, and we were like, you know what? Let's just go get something really quick because we're not even that hungry. Just a quick bite to eat. We saw a McDonald's that was 5 minutes down the road. And obviously, because it's Amsterdam, right? Like every street has bike lanes and everyone's biking everywhere.
Yep.
And I don't know what these like kids' problems were, but there were 2 kids on bikes that were just like constantly circling the block that we were on. And then out of nowhere, they just threw like a Twix bar at us. Like straight up, like this kid on a bike had like, I don't know if he had like a box of Twix or something like in his backpack, but he just like pulled one out and just pegged it at us. Hit Sarah on the head, our VIP manager on the head. And then Mike and Guy, our staff, were just like, I'm gonna fucking kill those kids. And that's the only thing I remember about Amsterdam.
That's funny because when we were in Copenhagen, it's funny that generally Danish people seem pretty chill. They were like very, very polite and chill. One of like the politest shows we've had, which doesn't say much about Europe because everyone there is polite. And everyone's chill, except when you fuck up in the bike lane. It's if you don't know the exact bike etiquette, I've never had so much abuse thrown at me just by passing cyclists and
they do it in such a calm demeanor as well. It's never like a shout or like a big exaggeration. It's just if like I had that once where like I almost fucking ran into another cyclist because I didn't realize that there's red lights for bikes in Denmark, and I didn't see that. I ran through, almost hit a guy, and as I was passing through him, in the calmest voice, he was just like, "What the fuck?" I was just like, I feel so bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Similar.
Like I didn't know you were meant to do like this when you were like stopping as well. So when you're about to like
doing
stop
this when you like turn. Right?
So when you were about to stop. So I just like slowly slowed down, right? And I thought that was like the etiquette, just like don't stop immediately, just like slow down and come to a stop. And then as I do, I have an older Dutch woman just like cycle past me and just go, asshole. And I'm like, whoa, what? It's just
it's so funny.
It's because they're so chill. It feels so bad.
I know.
Yeah, it's the way, it's the chill way they say it. If they shouted at me, I'll just be like,
it's the passive aggressiveness.
Yeah,
for sure. All right. Well, I have no room to rate Netherlands food because I had McDonald's. So what do you guys say?
Purely not remembering anything other than a croissant, I'm just gonna put it in C, just because something needs to go in C.
All right. Do you agree with that, Garnt?
No, like I said, best
God.
eggs Benedict I've had.
Okay, fine.
Best
We'll
croissant.
bump it to B.
All right,
I'll agree
I
on
don't
B.
know. It feels bad putting anything in like.
Listen, this is in
D-tier.
reference. I mean, we have to thin this out because we can't just put everything in S and A as a cop out. Wales is listen, Wales is his moments. All right, I'm biased.
Yeah, as much as we, you guys big up the leek soup, right? Yeah,
Barra Breath goes hard. We didn't get to eat that. That's fine. Okay.
So after that was Sweden.
Sweden next.
Sweden was by far
S tier. Yeah.
So we okay. Here's what I did. We got there and I messaged Felix. I was like, "Where do I go?" Because Felix is not from Stockholm, but he's been
from
there.
Gothenburg. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, I was like, is there one spot I gotta go eat? And so he sent me this restaurant. He was like, yeah, this is where I would go to eat if I was in Stockholm.
Okay.
And I went there, and it was insane. It was so good.
Yeah, the meatballs, right?
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Oh my god.
I'm sad
Dude.
I didn't get to try the meatballs.
Yeah, I had 2 life-changing meals here. One was in Denmark and one was in Sweden.
Dude.
Meatballs and hot dogs.
Yeah, meatballs and hot dogs.
Dude,
Literally, it was. You know when you have one of those meals where you're like, I'm going to remember this meal for the rest of my
core
life.
memory unlocked.
Yeah.
I-
That happened twice on this tour.
I have never personally been a big like meatballs person.
Nor have I.
I feel
Me
like
neither.
Nor have I.
generally they're pretty average for me.
Yeah.
But my god, these were just another
Godlike.
level.
Yeah,
Insane.
Me and
Insane.
Connor ordered one to share between us, and I wish
kinda
we'd
regret it,
ordered
yeah,
like one
2,
each.
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because we got like 3 menu items. And they were all pretty good, but the meatballs were
Yeah.
just. And then, dude, I had like a dessert. I got like apple pie, best apple pie of my life.
Yeah.
hands down.
I had another glizzy.
For fuck's sake, Joe.
fuck's
Did you
sake.
only get fucking hot dogs at McDonald's?
And honestly, Swedish hot dogs also goated.
You try to make this the America tour.
How do they compare to the?
Okay, so unlike in
Danes.
Denmark, right, where like you have like a shitload of toppings you can put on it to add like that much more flavor. The
Yeah.
Swedish hot dogs are just like your bog standard, like ketchup, mustard,
And you
the
talk
fattest,
shit. And you talk shit about the Costco
the
ones.
fattest fucking glizzy I've seen in my life. Like this guy was girthy as fuck with a tiny bun. Really cheap as well. And yeah, it was fucking great. Loved it.
I knew the restaurant was going to be good. Then when I walked in, I did not see a single person under 40 in the restaurant.
yeah, I was just like, oh, this seems like a place Felix would go to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was. I will never forget.
What the fuck is
What?
Girthy hot dog. Thank you for showing us this.
Yeah, it was about that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like, I'm going to remember the first time I had a Danish hot dog, and now I'm going to remember the very first time I had a Swedish meatball, because every time I have a meatball afterwards, I'm going to compare it to that one, and I don't think it's ever going to match up. Honestly, like
Yeah.
it was like the first time I had sukimen. It was just like on that level
Just goated
of just like
immediately.
core memory. I want to cry because this meal is so fucking good, and I feel like I'm unlocking new taste buds now. Yeah, it was insane.
Hell yeah.
I have nothing bad to say about the meals I had in
All right.
Sweden.
After
You know,
that,
actually, we should preface so that we can give ourselves some kind of out here.
Sure.
If people disagree with our takes, we should be like, these are based on just the meals we had, not
Yes.
the entire cuisine.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think
So unfortunately, this is gonna be based on pure gacha luck on whether we went to a good restaurant or not. Yeah.
So if you're from this country, don't be offended.
Yeah.
Wales is on this list. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It won't get rated highly, so I'll be
Alright,
sad.
so after
All right.
that was Oslo, Norway.
Which I booked. I booked me and Garnt a nice restaurant for lunch, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It was like, how do I describe it? It tasted very healthy, is what I would say.
What did you get?
It was like a sharing experience or something. Like this,
Yeah.
and they
We had
brought
some veal. We had
Beets, some kind of-
yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah.
We had like red beets on toast or with some special
fuck?
sauce.
with like sauce and some onions, and it
Yeah.
sounds so not exciting, but it was really, really good.
it was the star of the entire like everything that we got given.
We had it was like sour cream with some really nice flatbread.
Yeah.
And cauliflower wings. So they were like cauliflower that were cooked like chicken wings. It was
Yeah.
really good. It was a solid meal. I think it was not as good as Sweden and Denmark, but I think it was better for me than Ireland and Netherlands. So I think I'd put it A personally.
Yeah,
Put it A?
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Unless you think B.
Yeah, I think B.
You think B?
Yeah.
What did you eat in Norway?
Honestly, if it was up to me, I would rate Netherlands A. Like,
Really?
I
Oh
thought
my
it was
gosh.
less impressive than the croissant
Oh
and
my gosh.
the
We
eggs
gotta
Benedicts I
figure
got.
this out.
Okay, Jerry, what did you eat in Norway?
Dead ass, don't remember.
Fuck's sake, Jerry.
Because like this,
Joey's just like,
okay, because this was during the time where
I had a
again,
hot dog actually.
Yeah.
Let me guess, a burger or a pizza.
I think I actually might have.
No, you had noodles.
Did I have noodles?
We had noodles.
Oh yeah, in the
Oh,
green room.
that was in the show though.
Yeah, that was
But,
in the show.
I don't really count that. That was
No,
like takeaway.
but that's the problem, right? Is that this was like right in the middle of that 6-show like streak, and so we were constantly just on this like grind of like, okay, fucking get to the destination, immediately start go to the venue, try and walk around for a little bit to see at least a little
Yeah.
bit of the city, and then if you have time, you might have
See,
something
this
to eat.
this is where the difference in priority lies. Joey just wanted to explore like the city and
Yeah.
stuff. Me and Connor are like, all right, we need a good meal.
Yeah.
where we want to try the local cuisine.
I clown on the French, but I think there's one part of me that is French, and it's the fact that no matter where I went, I was like, I want a fucking 3-course meal. I was like, I got 1 hour. We can make it work.
Yeah. I just wanted to see the city.
I was like, what's the highest rated restaurant that's near walking distance and is also part of the local cuisine? All right, we're going there. We're going there. That was my experience of every country.
Yeah, pretty much would squeeze in a lunch like meal, because I thought in my head the way that I judge if I want to come back to a country is like, did I have like amazing restaurant experiences? Because that then makes me think, oh, there's so much good food that I can get excited for.
Right.
So I really wanted to just try some really good food in each country so that I could think, okay, when I come back, I know that there's like at least one good place that I like, and that I'm sure is reflective of the culinary experience.
Yeah, I think this really shows like our differences in how we treat like visiting a place, because like I'm much more focused on like sightseeing and just like getting the vibe of the actual like city or wherever I am, and like the food is for me is kind of just like optional.
Nah, that's like the stuff.
No,
if I'm going sightseeing, I need a nice meal at the end of the sightseeing.
That's like, it's like when people go to Japan and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna eat the Family Mart sandwiches. I'm like, at least get the onigiri. Like, come on, man. Like, at least try.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? You guys both think B then? Okay.
Yeah, I'd like, if it up to me, Netherlands would be A, and Norway would be B.
I'm gonna say, oh man. Okay, well, okay. How should we do this? Maybe on the record, I'm saying Norway is A, but fine, we can put it in B.
Yeah, we'll put Norway in B.
Yeah. All right.
After that was Germany.
To Germany.
Berlin. The fucking Wiener Schnitzel I had was so good.
Was it that good?
I really liked it. But then again, I'm a sucker for Wiener Schnitzel. I'm also easy to please with German food, so...
Yeah. All right. So, I gotta say, I really, really fucking enjoyed the Germany show. I really felt like, for once, I connected with the Germans. You know, like...
How so?
I was just like, you know what? Your bread actually fucking goated. I felt like I was on a new character arc, and I got a really good reception at the German show, which was surprising to me. It felt like
it wasn't quite the public mascot we were intending.
Yeah. I felt like what's the word I'm looking for? Not rehabilitation, but
what's rehabilitation?
Yeah, it was kind of rehabilitation.
Well, they gave me a standing ovation when I said bread is good. I was like, wow,
very easy to please.
Standard German behavior.
I don't know, redemption. It felt like, you know, I had a little redemption arc to the Germans, which pains me to say that I'm about to make an enemy of the Germans again.
No.
Because I just had a redemption arc, and I gotta say, so I didn't just spend a day in Berlin, spent like 5 days in Cologne as well, trying as much German cuisine as I could.
Sure.
I think British cuisine is better.
Oh,
I think British cuisine is better than German cuisine. I genuinely,
Wait, did you say that on the Germany show?
No.
Yeah, good. You would have been murdered. You would have been murdered.
Before I judge you, what are your reasonings?
What are my reasonings?
Yeah,
okay, so a lot of dishes kind of feel similar to British cuisine. And when I had like a German like dish, something like schnitzel, for example, I was just like, I'd rather have fish and chips. You know, I'd rather have like a good fish and chips. The schnitzel was fine. It was fine. I'd rather have fish and chips. You know,
that's fair. I think Germany, I like it and I like the food. Mainly because I'm blinded by the bread and the just a pretzel.
Yeah. Okay. So for when I say cuisine, you guys beat us in beer and bread. That's not even a fucking argument. But in just like the dishes, the traditional German dishes that you had, I was just like, you know what? I think there's more in British cuisine, you know? I think a lot of people clown on British cuisine, and I've had enough, because now that I've been abroad, I'm like, you know what?
I actually think I like British food more as well. I mean, I think on average...
Yes! I mean, let's go!
I think just because so many meals in Germany, I'll get like a dish, and I'll only like the main part of the dish, and everything around it, I'm like, I don't really care. I mean, I had a currywurst, and it was probably the worst currywurst I've had in Germany. I
had 2 currywursts in Germany, and I'm like, this is your strongest curry. This is your strongest fighter. Really?
I'm also just not a fan of like boiled potatoes, and there's so many times you get boiled potatoes with stuff in
What do
Germany.
you mean?
Yeah.
Boiled potatoes is in UK as well.
Not often. We
not
normally go for
often.
chips.
Look,
which
we have
yeah.
roasted potatoes
Yeah,
there,
roasted-
which is
roasted
so
potatoes are way
much
better.
better.
Roasted potatoes
you
are
have
better.
the crisp, fluffy. You have the
Rosemary.
crisp outside. You got the rosemary and the fluffy inside as well.
That being said, like I think it was probably the weakest meal of the tour we had, because I think we didn't go to the best spot. We went to a beer garden, and I felt like it was just overly touristy, and it was just I don't think it was like great food.
I liked it.
I know you liked it. The beer was great though. I mean,
The beer was great.
The beer was great.
The beer was
liked
great.
it.
And it was
Yeah.
it was like the Berlin beer, which is like one of the I think worst ones, and it was still pretty
Yeah,
good.
the weakest beer was still better than
Yeah,
any
so-
beers you can get in England.
It
I will
does
say that.
feel like they put all the points in bread and beer, which are essentially just different forms of each other.
Bro, I'm not
And then-
complaining.
Yeah, dude, don't get me wrong. I could live off bread and beer. That's like half the British
couldn't.
diet. I know you couldn't. I could,
couldn't.
and I'd be very happy. But I think on average, like I would. I mean, what even is British? British food is so fucking weird. British food is not even a food anymore. It's like a
Well, that's why I'm fucking
Conglomeration of
molding at the
things.
fact you guys rate that higher than the German
I
food.
think British food is a thing. It's like a combination of like a lot of things. I think it's very like when people think British food, they think like fucking fish and chips.
I like fish and chips. I like
What else do you think when you think
shepherd's
British
pie.
food? Actually,
Shepherd's pie.
actually, from someone who's not from England, what do you think when you think British food?
Fish and chips,
Toast sandwich.
toast sandwich, beans.
Okay, actually, beans are goaded. All right, let's not shit talk the beans here, Joey.
I'm not shit talking the beans. It's just the first three things I think of.
yeah,
Yeah.
our American tour manager came to the UK, and they had an English breakfast. And,
Yeah.
she showed us I was like, can I see a picture of it? And the sausage looked mummified. It looked like it had been dried for years.
Yeah.
And I think they had like eggs. It looked awful. It just looked terrible. It was good. I was like, this looks fucking horrible.
Really?
Yeah, it was a nightmare. It was not good.
See, it's easy to just post a picture of like a shitty British meal and be like, haha, the British have no taste. But, you know, I think, and you know, now that, you know, traveling around, I really rate our fucking pasties. And I think our savory pastries.
To be fair, yes, I do rate that.
Fucking
definitely.
anything
Greg's.
you can get in Greg's, man. That's,
How did we talk? How does it always happen? We talk about Germany, it comes back to the UK. How does this,
Let's go back to Germany.
Okay,
Let's rate
okay.
Germany.
well, the UK's after Germany,
okay, so
so
are we putting Germany in C tier or D tier? What do you
no,
want?
hell no, bro. What the fuck?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was thinking A tier.
oh hell no.
I'm based off our meal.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
our meal,
No way.
I
There's
am
no-
going to
I
stand up
will-
for Germany.
No,
absolutely not.
No.
Ireland, Amsterdam, and Norway were better than Germany. The meals we had.
Yeah.
I don't fucking remember anything I had in Amsterdam and Norway. I went to McDonald's.
That's
why you don't remember,
fault.
Joey.
That's your fault.
That is your fault.
All right. So what? C or D, guys?
Are we going to put anything in D? Because
I don't think I have anything else that would go in D.
no, I'll put it C then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it C.
So
can't
D
believe
is not
this.
being used, is it?
Yeah, I guess D's not being used. I'd feel wrong to put something in D tier.
Put Germany in D for,
No.
for Deutschland.
No.
That's true. I put UK, you put UK in C just to Deutschland
Just
in
to
D,
spite.
UK in C, which
I mean, I had I had an amazing curry the other night in
Yeah.
London. That was great.
yeah,
I did have a really good eggs Benedict in
See,
London,
we
to be fair.
sometimes use the spices that we stole.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing
When it-
I
when
can
it counts,
say.
you know.
When it counts,
When it
you
counts.
know. It's
I think I honestly I always feel like I enjoy my meals in the UK. It's always like solid time.
I honestly think that the quality of food
London
in
is
England
very different though. Actually,
London
Yes.
is different, but you know, I generally think the quality of food in England has just gone up as time's gone by.
I just disagree that Irish food was better than stuff in London. I just
Okay, yeah, actually,
I just can't.
Actually,
I, can't
I
sign off
agree
on
do
with
we
that.
wanna
that. I
knock
agree.
down
With that.
This is why I
Ireland?
said Ireland should go and see. You guys
Okay.
didn't believe me. You just wanted to be
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
right?
You're right. I had Guinness on my mind, you know. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's my meal.
I just wanted to put Guinness on there. Let's be honest, but yeah, I think that. Great, I'm gonna now make an enemy of the Irish. I think UK food was better than the Ireland food as well.
Okay, so
Yeah,
where's
Joey, don't look at me like that, Joey.
What did you eat? What did you eat in Ireland? I know what you ate.
What I eat in Ireland?
Yeah.
Tell me
You
what
had Nando's.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
which doesn't fucking
And
count.
you know what I had in the UK? Nando's.
And Greg's?
And
right?
Greg's.
Greg's is British though.
Greg's is okay. To be fair, you recommended me like the new. So I've had Greg's once before this, and I just had like a sausage roll, which is good.
Fine. It's
which
the
is fine.
basic.
It's good. But the one you recommended,
Yeah,
the fucking beans, cheese, and sausage pasty, was it?
that's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was bomb. That
Yeah.
was that
That's
was so
That's a
good.
classic.
Yeah.
So where's the UK going?
I think it's going high C. I think it's.
Okay.
I don't think it's on the same level as other European countries right now. But if we're taking on the Germans and the Irish, I think we're better. I think we're better, and I'm sticking with that. And I don't care if that's the hot take of the day.
Okay.
But
That's
I
definitely
think
the hot take
UK.
of the
I think UK food should. It's not a high tier cuisine. I'm not going to call it that. But it's definitely not as low as the entire world says it is. You know, you think. You know, we got Sunday roast. We got fucking afternoon tea as well.
Also, like I think
Full English breakfast, pasties.
Yeah.
We got good sausages here.
That's the one.
Fuck,
That's
it's-
the one.
that's the one.
Yeah, I think it's way better than people give it credit for. I've turned around.
Throw it and see them.
I've never been to India, but out of all the places where I've had Indian food, the UK is normally my favorite place to have it. I mean, that's just like could be a bad take. But
That's probably a
I
bad
think
take.
low B. I think low B.
You think low B?
I think low B.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
We gotta be higher than Irish.
Hey, let's fucking go.
Alright,
That finishes
well,
off with Wales, which is known for having no food normally. Well, yeah.
Okay.
The producers here are probably pretty
Yeah.
vocal about their feelings on it.
To be fair, the burger I had was pretty fucking lit.
Welsh,
Is
I
it
mean,
Welsh food? No.
Welsh
but-
food really struggles to find an identity, I think. Is
What is Welsh
Is the
food?
kindest way I can
Yeah.
describe
soup
it.
in it.
It's sheep, lamb, leek, and cakes typically. None of which you guys
No,
had.
we didn't have any of them.
Mainly because we were in Cardiff, and Cardiff is like the least Welsh place in Wales.
Right. It really did just feel like England 2.0.
Yeah.
Cardiff is just an extension of because it's so close to England, and it's
Right.
also a major city and historical reasons. Yeah. But I think, I mean, honestly, I don't even think we had a burger.
We had a burger and a wrap
like a
from
fajita wrap, which is like what even
from an African restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was about the same as Irish, maybe less than Irish food.
D?
I think the Germans would be so pissed off to have it higher, but I think it's, yeah, I mean,
Let's piss off the Germans. Come
sure.
on.
What, higher than D? What, high D or low C?
Low C.
Low C. Well, I'm surprised you guys are giving this a low C. The producers are in awe. They're
All
like,
right,
I
well,
can't
that's
believe it.
that's our tier list.
Of the meals that we had on our Europe
That
tour.
was a 1 hour segment.
Hi,
Let's
hi,
break that down.
Germany.
Germans are frothing at the mouth right now with this one.
My redemption arc lasted about 0.1 seconds.
The moment a German disappeared from your like line of sight, it's just like, let's talk shit. Fuck the Germans. Oh my
Okay,
god.
so yeah, I will admit I was wrong about your bread, but I'm sticking with this new take I have. British cuisine.
This is gonna be added.
Yeah,
This is
British
gonna be
cuisine. Solos, German cuisine.
That's so unbelievably cap. I can't believe what you just said. Oh my god.
This episode is sponsored by Bokksu. Bokksu delivers the experience of tasting authentic Japanese snacks, candies, and teas sourced directly from centuries-old small family businesses right to your door. Their mission is to empower Japan's traditional snack makers by sharing their authentic food and stories with the world. Every single Bokksu is packed to the brim with some amazingly rare snacks that are really hard to find in Japan. Each Bokksu also comes with a cultural booklet informing you all about the snack's origins and flavors. When you order a Bokksu, the first box you'll receive is the Seasons of Japan. Following that, every single month you'll receive a newly monthly themed box, normally tying into some cultural aspect in Japan. I get one of these every single month and I love it. If you're like me and you love rice crackers, most boxes include senbei, which is one of my favorite Japanese snacks, and it's something that you're most certainly gonna need to try. And they also have a tea pairing which goes with some of the snacks, and trust me, It's so good. So what are you waiting for? Smash that link in the description down below right now to get $15 off your own Bokksu Japanese snack box and support our channel and use our code TRASHTASTE at bokksu.com. That's BOKKSU.com. That is BOKKSU.com with code TRASHTASTE for $15 off your very first order. Thank you to Bokksu for sponsoring the show. Back to the episode.
How did you guys find the shows?
Dude, it was crazy because it's like, I think, you know, after we did the America shows, we obviously with an American crowd, right? Like, we knew they were going to be rowdy because they're fucking Americans,
Yeah.
right?
The Americans will cheer for anything.
They will
Yeah.
cheer for literally anything. And they did. And so, like, you know, our producers were saying, like, oh, you know, especially up in, like, Scandinavia, but a lot of parts of Europe, they might be a little more reserved. So it might be some quieter shows. So you're going to maybe require a little bit more riling up of the crowd to
Yeah.
really get them into the mood. But no, I think just our fans are just fucking wild.
Yeah,
Anywhere in the world, because
so we were warned before by our like tour staff that you know we should expect kind of more reserved crowd, especially in like the Scandinavian countries where you know they have this kind of like philosophy. I can't remember. I think it's like the law of Jante or something, where you know it's kind of like they have to think that they're not better than anyone and be like you know,
humble, right?
Be very humble.
Yeah.
There were some of the European crowd. We did not have a single quiet crowd.
No.
Everyone
No.
was
Like, on average, I think they were louder than the Americans.
yeah,
as
actually,
well.
actually,
totally.
sorry, Americans.
Sorry.
Actually, I think the Europeans were actually louder. I don't know if it's just because they had like one night just to really let loose and let go.
I think it's because, like, you know, in America, you have such a vast choice of options as like somebody's into more niche hobbies like anime or gaming to kind of have opportunities to really
express
express yourself,
Yeah.
go to events with like-minded people and feel like you're in a comfortable space to be able to like express and go kind of a little wild. And I think going to Europe and kind of bringing this show format and what we talk about, we have like a fucking 10-minute segment on hentai. Like, I think like no other show is doing that, obviously, in Scandinavia and Europe, right? So I think there's like, it's kind of like a fun vibe where it's like, fuck yeah, I can just fucking like let loose and watch a show from something I would never get to watch.
I think it's also due to the fact that, you know, like, I think the main consensus is like, oh, there's always like tours and like shows and stuff like that in America, right? Because that's like the hub to do shows like that. And very rarely do like, you know, YouTubers or like any kind of like stage shows actually do tours in Europe. So like the few times that it does happen, everyone gets hyped up. I know, because it's exactly the same in Australia.
Right.
Like every time I see like a famous artist that's doing like a world tour and they're not stopping in Australia, I'm just like, what the fuck? This is bullshit. But when they do come to Australia, it is hype as shit. So I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, I also think so there's a big drinking culture in Europe as well.
Yes.
And one thing I found funny was when we performed in the Apollo in England, it was the only venue we've ever done where it was contractual for us to take a 20-minute intermission. Now you might be wondering, why do we need to take a 20-minute intermission? What's up with that? Why is it on the contract? Well, it's so that people can go out and buy drinks. That is the most British thing I've ever heard in my life. No, guys, you need to stop the show so people can get more fucking pissed. Yeah. They need some time to top up.
Yeah, not even Ireland did that.
Yeah, not even Ireland did that. Yeah.
But Ireland, they preloaded, so everyone would come in. I saw
Like the
dudes.
dude in the VIP with the 4 Guinnesses.
This one dude rocks up with 4 Guinnesses, sits down, and he's like, "I'm ready."
Yeah, I asked, are they for your mates? He's like, no, for me. And I was like, damn, boy's committed.
Dude.
He's timed it out. He's got like the speedrun stretch.
Like every
ready to
30
go.
minutes.
Yeah. He had like 2 in the VIP, and then during VIP he went out and got 4. So he had 6 Guinnesses throughout the
Insane.
entire
He did it
show.
so elegantly too. I remember he asked his question, and then the moment he was finished, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna head out."
Yeah.
What do you think was the rowdiest crowd of all of them? I think also it does what I realize is that absolutely the day of the week very much determines
very
sometimes.
much matters.
If it's a Saturday, obviously it's gonna be a lot louder, and if it's a Monday, it's gonna be a lot quieter. But you can still get a.
I think the
some
one that
noise.
sticks out to me the most was probably the Germany show.
Oh,
Yeah.
Germans were rare. They
I
were
think
rowdy.
the
Very,
one
very rowdy.
I think the one in London obviously had an advantage because it was the biggest show we'd ever done
it's very loud.
by 1,000 by about like 1,500 people I think. But I think in terms of like average person being the loudest, it's probably the Germans.
Yeah, so loud.
I think Rotterdam was pretty damn loud
No,
as well.
Amsterdam was loud.
Amsterdam was also loud.
So
I remember
Sweden, they were all
they were all
very
fucking loud.
They were all
Yeah.
very loud.
Yeah, like we said, we didn't have a quiet show. There was no quiet show. There was loud. Or fucking you got like you lost your hearing at the end of the show. You know, that was kind of it. But one thing I liked about our show is that, you know, we do this show and we get to learn a little bit about our countries as well. And I think Alex, our content producer, killed it because of the first game. We had a bunch of questions related
So if
to that country.
you've seen the Trash Taste America tour that we released, it's kind of a similar format, but we changed the first game
Yeah.
to kind of focus more on the places we were visiting.
the country that we're in, and we found out what people got patriotic
really,
about.
really passionate about.
The biggest cheer in the German show was finding out that they have a childhood mascot, which is like a depressed piece of bread. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah, I remember this. They lost it. They went wild.
What was it? Burnt dust brought or something?
Yeah, burnt dust brought or something like that.
Yeah.
They
Burnt.
lost it. They fucking lost it.
Yeah,
They were
like,
oh my god, it's burnt! I've never seen people react to a childhood mascot that violently.
I've never seen a childhood mascot that looks like this as well. And of course, it's German, so of course it's a piece of bread.
You found it?
Yeah, you found it. Yeah,
It looks fucked up, doesn't it?
It's so hideous. It's the most German-looking cartoon character ever. I remember this whenever I was. Yeah, look at this.
yeah, look at that.
Fucking hideous.
What a fucking nightmare.
It's like, I remember that because I used to go to when I was growing up, my dad worked in Germany a lot, so I'd go to Germany all the time. And I remember whenever we used to go to any of the like middle European countries, they always had the fucking ugliest cartoons. Always the ugliest cartoons. And look at this fucking horrific thing. Like, could you imagine looking at this and be like, yes, my childhood. The bread with warts.
I just
The
like
bread with warts and a unibrow.
the way that
God, it's
they
horrific.
designed him with like
Oh, it's
the
so
most
horrific.
atrocious eye bags
Oh,
possible.
God.
This is a man who's watched NTR and has lived to see another day, you know?
Jesus.
Look at that shit. Yeah.
So gross.
And I found out, you know, as a Brit, what us Brits get the most patriotic about. It's not football. It's not football.
Yeah.
It's when Henry the Hoover got shown on screen and got a standing ovation. Yeah.
Dude. Henry the Hoover was
What was your reaction to seeing? Did you even know what Henry was?
No.
Like when it came up.
No, I didn't. Like, for one, I'd never seen it before. I think I said in the show, it looks like the fucking thing in Teletubbies that feeds them the custard, you know?
Oh, Nunu?
Yeah, Nunu. It looks like Nunu.
UK icon.
Yeah.
But then it was fucking wild because that night when we got back to the hotel, there was a dude vacuuming and it was fucking Henry. And it had the name Henry on it. And I'm just like, oh my God,
So
this is actually everywhere.
If you want a vacuum that doesn't break, you gotta get the Henry one.
Right.
Yeah, they're like notorious for being like very.
Did you guys have a Henry while you were living in?
Yeah.
I did, but then you kind of. This is a classic video.
That's so good.
I love this fucking video. It's such a good video. They're like notorious for like being very good, but they often lose suction after a while.
Yeah,
It's just the one
but
that-
it's the one Hoover you normally see in every like establishment has one. Most uni halls have one because it's like pretty cheap compared to like other vacuum cleaners as well. And I didn't realize this until living outside of the UK that I've only seen it in the UK.
Yeah.
And you don't notice it, but once you point it out, you realize, you see Henry everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
Because even like there was a lot of people who went to our show who flew in from abroad or something, and they were like, I was so confused. And then I saw so many posts and replies to my Twitter thread being like, holy shit, I see Henry in my fucking hotel. Oh my God, he's right there.
It follows me.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck? Look at all the colors
Yeah,
you
we
can
got-
get.
they got Charles as well and
Yeah.
George.
Is it Hetty? His wife? Hetty, yeah.
What an awful Hetty is.
Ain't
Such
no
a shit
way.
name. They couldn't think of a better name.
Oh my god.
Got the whole
James.
family. Oh, there is a Harry. Oh my god, I didn't know.
Dude, so I was right.
Yeah, so
You only ever see the red one, though.
yeah, you only see the red one. So so the question was on the stage of the show.
Yeah.
What was the name of this British icon?
Yeah.
And for some reason, Joey answers Harry.
Yeah.
So I didn't know there was a Harry on there.
technically, I got it right.
No, you said Norman.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
going to say Harry, but I was like, no, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we like it's so weird. Finding out about other different cultures as well. We found out that the Dutch have like their own ticks. They're like they. Like
for schools,
right? They,
It's like-
the
it's like this.
teachers don't do like this. Got a fucking massive cheer, but yeah, I didn't know they don't have their own like a tick is too much effort. Apparently,
No, it's too little.
it's too little effort.
Too
They
little effort.
needed
They have this
to.
really extravagant swirl.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hieroglyphics.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a really fancy end sign.
It's like
Yeah.
what? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what the exact name of it was. But then we also found out about the that's it.
That's
it.
it.
This is it.
Yeah,
The
flourish of approval.
Wow, that's such a nice name.
Yeah.
Flourish of approval. God damn.
Yeah, I don't know how this became a thing, but that's very fancy and unlocked a lot of cool memories.
I love how you Google Dutch tick alternative and it came up with pets. I just don't like the normal ticks. I want alternative ticks.
I want those Dutch ticks.
Also, Dutch people, what the fuck is up with your toilets? Why? Do
Oh
you-
my god! Yeah,
Yeah.
those
I didn't come across a Dutch toilet.
there was one at the venue.
Yeah.
What's the Dutch toilet?
Okay, so you know how normally, that one.
Yeah, the one on
So
the left.
you know how normally the bowl is kind of
All
like
water?
right, the water bowl is
What the
right
fuck?
underneath your ass,
Yeah.
right? For
Oh,
most
I have
normal
seen
toilets.
these before.
Yeah,
Dutch
yeah.
toilets, for some reason, it's like right in front of you, like this.
Yeah.
So it's just like a little water slide for your shit.
Yeah,
Is
so
that like a splashback countermeasure?
no. You get splashback because from the shit because the ceramic is so close to your ass that you sometimes you get fucking splashback if it's not.
way.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
And then
That
when you go
doesn't
to
seem
wipe
right.
your ass, you have to like make eye contact with your shit because it's just right here.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
you have to risk.
Are you above seeing your own shit, Joey?
You know what? I'm good. I don't need it. I don't need to check it.
You know what? I want to look at it.
I don't want to
wanna
look at it.
I want to see if it's
I
healthy.
don't- no.
I wanna-
Yeah, so I saw this. I was like, what the fuck? Why do you
Yeah,
want
why?
to inspect your shit? And is it to you inspect your shit?
sometimes
Dutch
you,
love looking at their
sometimes
own
you need to
shit.
see it. You got to see it.
I mean, sure, but
Too quick are we to not appreciate the wonders of plumbing and flush it away without
I
a second
usually
thought.
can gauge if my shit is good while it's coming out. You know? I don't need to see it. Like, sometimes when it's
okay.
coming out, you're like, oh, this is a bad one. I don't even need to see it. I know that's a bad one.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's so clean, just swish, doesn't even touch the rim,
What else happened in Amsterdam? I feel like there was other stuff that. Speaking of toilets, I went to. And when we were in Rotterdam, there's a game that I've played a bunch called We Were Here or We Were Together or something. I think it's just We Were Here. And they have like a bunch of puzzle games. And the game devs are in Rotterdam.
Right.
And so they invited me and Reinho to go and play the game. So we went to the studio. And they were super chill. Everyone was really nice. And I asked them, I was like, "Hey, so where's the toilet at?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, just go to the next to the right. Oh, and just don't worry about what's in there." I was like, "What? What do you mean don't worry about it?" Like, okay. So I walk in, and I open the toilet, and I'm like, "Huh?" And I look up, and there's a noose hanging from the top of the toilet, and I was like, "What?" Yeah, there's a noose on top of the toilet. And I go outside and I'm like, "Hey, so what's the deal with the noose?" And they were like, "Oh,
Crunch time be like.
well, yeah." I was like, "Man, I didn't know you guys are working for Rockstar." They said it was a Halloween decoration, and I was like, from Like 2 months early, or
Yeah,
from 10 months ago. So yeah, it was a Halloween decoration, but it was a very funny image. I took a picture. It looks so funny because it's just a toilet with a noose coming down from it, and I was like, wow, that's
holy shit.
game devs must be working hard.
Crunch time.
God damn.
It was very funny, but they were all really sweet, and that was cool. That's kind of when I like touring the most, is when we get to kind of do these cool opportunities because I would never be in Rotterdam. I would never go to Rotterdam otherwise. There's no reason I would ever be there unless I was just there casually. And if I was there casually, I wouldn't mention it, right? I wouldn't make a big deal about it. So it's really cool. That's what I really like about doing the tours. You get to kind of do these really interesting experiences that you never would have the chance to do.
Yeah, because like I feel like having, we had sometimes less than a day in the city, but it's weird. Sometimes you just get the vibe of a city and a place. You get a vibe of like if you'd want to come back. Like for example, I could see myself coming back to I think Copenhagen. I really want to come back to Copenhagen to try out all of the hot dogs as well. I think a place like
mostly the hot dogs.
Yeah, I think a place like Oslo, I got the vibe. And if I go back to Norway, I'd rather go far up north.
Yeah,
rather than going to the city. I think I'd rather explore the rest of Norway.
Yeah. One place that really stuck out to me was Stockholm, just because like I kind of got the chance to actually like go into the city center and like kind of
It's very green.
Go around. It was beautiful, like very traditional, green. Like kind of old Europe style. I went to like a bunch of record stores in Stockholm, and it was just like the vibe was like perfect for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to come back here and actually like, maybe go to like, the outskirts of Sweden and stuff like that, actually go see the countryside. I think it'd be really dope.
Also, I don't know if it was just like a subliminal thing, but for some reason I stepped out of the airport in Stockholm and I'm like, I think this is the cleanest air I've ever breathed in my life in a city. I don't know. It just felt super fucking
I don't
clean.
know. Don't you have like a super sense for like
No, I think it was something. There was some factoid or something that it was like, Sweden has like the greenest cities in the world.
It was just clean. Like everything was just so clean and like pristine, but like it still kind of had that like liveliness of a big city, and it was just, I don't know how they did it, but you guys did it.
Yeah,
fun vibe.
Yeah, honestly, we didn't go to a place that was bad. That's all. Probably because we didn't stop off in Paris.
Yes.
Paris is, I mean, we were like, no,
so to any French people who went to our shows, we are sorry, but also, we have to play to the crowd.
Yeah,
and
you saw it coming, come on.
Apparently, everyone in Europe loves to clown on France.
Oh, they love clown on France.
Yeah. Especially French cuisine as well.
Yeah, French cuisine, because we have a question in the show that was, we'd asked the audience to fill out a QR code, like in the America tour.
Yeah.
We'd asked them which country has the most overrated cuisine. And without fail, France was number one every single
like it wasn't
show.
even close.
Yeah, sometimes it was like 50% of the vote or 4 times the next one. It was pretty impressive how universally people agreed that French food was overrated.
Do you know what surprised me though? Because we talk about French food being number one in every show, but I'll tell you what was also in every show.
Oh yeah,
Italian food being second.
Yeah.
Every show,
every single European country agreed that Italian food was overrated, which is weird.
Yeah,
that's a weird take.
I've never heard anyone say they thought Italian food was overrated.
Yeah,
I've never heard that opinion.
Like, what about Italian food is overrated?
I don't know. Maybe it's because everyone just likes it.
Pizza, pasta, overrated.
Maybe because it's just so, you can get it anywhere and it's been so commercialized.
I mean, granted,
accessible.
not every like Italian restaurant I've been to has been like fucking 10 out of 10 or anything. Like, sure, there's some bad Italian restaurants, but like I've never thought it to be like overrated.
Yeah.
No,
that's a different vibe.
It is.
You know what I was also impressed by? We asked the audience as well in every show to name which anime they thought had the worst fandom. Oh, yeah. And I don't know, how do they all just do this? Every single show said My Hero Academia. How do they all know this?
Every single
How do they, as number one? I just like, how do they all come together and have this all collective experience?
Wow.
Where they
also, almost every single one, second place was One Piece.
Not everyone, though. Not everyone.
Almost.
Not everyone.
It was
not
top
everyone.
3. It was always top 3.
Always top 3.
That didn't surprise me so much.
Why is My Hero always, like, why do
My
people
Hero
just agree
surprised
that
me
it's
the most
worst
because
fandom?
I thought everyone thought that most people have just stopped watching My Hero Academia.
I thought it had to have a fan base. Watch fan base. So that's what I.
They definitely are not the most vocal fan base anymore.
Yeah,
I'd even
kinda
say,
interesting.
yeah, because I was surprised because Demon Slayer never got up there.
Yeah,
Demon
never got
Slayer
up there.
never got up there.
It's too generic.
You know,
It's too generic.
like Jujutsu Kaisen never got up there either. That sometimes Fate got up there a few times. SAO
Sword
got up there a
Online,
few
Attack on
times.
Titan.
JoJo,
Yeah.
Attack on Titan, but
Wait, there's a subreddit called My Hero Academia Cringe.
MHA Cringe.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
Okay,
but the
wow.
entire anime fandom came together to clown on My Hero Academia fans, and God knows they're taking enough L's, guys. Come on, like,
Yeah,
do we really need to give them another one?
The show is already pretty rough. It's not doing well. So
I mean,
bless their hearts.
what season are we fucking on right now? Like 6 or something?
7.
7
We're going
seasons?
on to season 7. Yeah,
Wait, really?
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god! I'm
Yeah.
proud
How is
of
there
the
7 seasons?
I don't know
Yeah, and
that.
it sucks because season 6 was the best season in a long time.
No.
And then everyone's still clowning on them. I was like,
Yikes.
oh man.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. They're trying their
But
best.
how was it for you guys? You guys got to play in front of, your home crowd, Wales and London. Like how was that for you guys?
Yeah, I was fucking. So to me, like,
I've never seen you that nervous.
yeah, I wasn't like okay, so there's like two kind of like nervous, right? There's one where you're kind of like dreading it, and there's one where you just want to do it.
You want to be on there.
You want to be
Yeah.
on there, and you just want it to be the best thing it can be.
Sure.
I got like the second kind of nervous where I was just like, it was my home, my home country. All of my friends and family were there. I had like, I think over half of the people that attended my wedding were at this show.
Oh shit.
So many of my family members were there. So I just wanted to get on and make sure that it was like the best that it can be, and more importantly that I was like in top form as well. And yeah, I think the London show was fucking incredible, but
a great
it
show.
was surreal, like performing in front of friends and family. Yeah, I was trying to think back because do you guys have a routine when you go on at all? Do you guys have like a way to like mentally prep yourself? Well, you played chess this time.
I just sit there. I'm just like, all right. I just try not to talk.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to talk so much for 2 hours.
Yeah, one
like-
thing I
Yeah.
did realize is that talking before the show actually makes it worse for me.
Really?
I'd rather sit in silence
Yeah, that's
the hour
what I
before
do,
the
yeah.
show. But when I had like this many friends and family, I was just like, all right, guys, I'm going to talk for 5 minutes and then I'm going to go. I'm sorry. I need time to like decompress and just
Yeah,
get in
yeah.
like the right mental state before going on stage.
But it was also because we hadn't seen our friends in so long, and they were super excited to talk.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm fucking honing my chi right now to do the show. I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't. I'll talk to you guys after the show.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes.
I have to
it's
use
like-
1% of my power.
Yeah, it's like Naruto going like fucking sage mode where he has to sit still and not be touched. That's like me before going on stage.
But it's such a weird thing to have to explain to people, because I guess if you've never done it, you've been on stage before. If you've ever been on stage, I feel like you could probably relate to it, because you just need that. You just need to focus. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You need to like not think and just have a blank slate when you go out there.
Yeah.
So you can push everything onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
really
know.
strange.
I don't really have like a routine or anything. If anything, I think sitting in silence for me makes me more nervous.
Right.
Because like it makes me think about, I have to go on stage. Whereas if I'm talking to someone just chatting and bantering, then it kind
Yeah.
of distracts me from the fact that I need
Right.
to go on. And so when the time, when it is time to go up on stage, I'm like, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
And then I'm nervous for maybe like 30 seconds before we go on, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
But if I sit there in silence, then I'm just gonna be ruminating over the fact that it's like, okay, I gotta nail this, I gotta nail this, I gotta make sure this joke hits, I gotta make sure this all goes well, and I think it just adds more pressure.
Yeah.
In a weird
Yeah.
way. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you realize that everyone has a different kind of like approach into, especially like a high pressure moment. Because I attribute it. This can sound like a weird fucking comparison, but I attribute it to doing my final exams in uni, right?
Okay.
So like you have like 2 hours, and all of your year has led up to this one moment, and you've studied for it. Hopefully you've studied for it, but you know that the last 10 minutes, no matter how much you try to cram, none of it's going to stick in. So like for me, the best best thing I tried to do before going into my final exams was just like fucking chill out and try to calm my mind.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the same kind of mental state as I had when I was going to go on stage performing.
It's like it's just like competing. If you've ever competed in anything, like, and you've cared a lot about it. It's that 10 minutes before you have to go and do the match or something. You're like, oh, okay, all right, I gotta gotta like home my energy and I gotta feel like I focus when I get out there. It's kind of like that too.
Yeah.
But after a while, I mean, we've done the show 30 plus times now.
33
33
So I
times.
feel like I could do it in my sleep.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, definitely. Like, I think
it.
now it's just like kind of in our system now where we don't even really think about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, a few of the shows, some instances, it got a little bit scuffed.
We got the Samsung.
Oh, we got the same. This episode of Trash Taste is sponsored by Mint Mobile. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster from hell.
Which for Joey is every roller coaster.
Sure, it looks fun at first. They probably threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of insane bills and unexpected thrills, like overages and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off that ride with Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. Did you hear that, boys? $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month.
Guys, Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month. Say bye-bye to your big wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All plans come with unlimited talks and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. So use your phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
I saved a lot using Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month. And get your plan shipped to your door for free. Go to mintmobile.com/trash. That's mintmobile.com/trash. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month. Mintmobile.com/trash. Back to the episode. So yeah, how was it for you performing in front of your parents?
It was fun. My parents and two of my brothers came to the Dublin show, which was fun. I think they were more excited to go to Dublin than Wales. They didn't come to Wales; they came to Dublin. But actually, it's about the same time to get to each. Because you can just get the ferry from North Wales, over. So it's pretty easy to get there. And I think they all just like going to Ireland. I mean, Ireland's nice. So
How was it performing in Wales though?
Wales, it was cool. I mean, the Welsh crowd was definitely, I think because it was a Monday, it was definitely some really loud people and then some people who were very quiet. And it was fun trying to get their energy out of them sometimes. But
it was the smallest show as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was a small show, but they were still loud at times. It was good. I think I was definitely more nervous performing in front of my parents than in front of Welsh people.
Yeah.
Welsh people, I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and in front of my parents, it was interesting because there's one part on the show where we have to name a hentai category we secretly like, and
that was what I was nervous about as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
you have to mention like a porn category basically that you like.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I probably shouldn't say MILF. So I didn't say. It was the only time I ever didn't say MILF. And I was like, all right, well, it was fun.
What did you say?
I think I said vanilla or something.
Yeah,
I was like, yes, of course.
Yeah, because I did it on London show as well.
Missionary, of course, only. Marital.
Post-marital.
Yeah.
Post-marital. Because they loved it though. They really liked it.
Yeah, because I think what made me more nervous on the day of like the London show was I had like the guest list of like friends and family, and like in the most like big Asian family way possible, I get like a message about like 6 hours before the show, and they were like, "Oh, a cousin just said he's free. He wants to come to the show."
Yeah, go on. Your family was like 900 people.
And then like progressively, they were like, "Oh wait, another cousin is also free. Oh, another cousin's coming actually." And I think I had like an extra 6 to 7 people just like progressively in the day being like, "Actually, family, I'm free." So
Dude, it was crazy. Like throughout the entire day, it was just like a posse of people just like rocking up, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's like, how many are there back here?
Yeah. And you know, a lot of them, pretty much every one of them, did not know anything about Trash Taste or the show. I had one cousin that I had not seen in about like a decade, just because he's been living in different countries, so we've never kind of like matched up. So he was like actually on there on the day, and it was the first time I've seen him in over a decade. Last time we kind of like talked, I did not do YouTube, or still, I think this was like still when I was in university.
Yeah.
Not even, this was like pre-BBC eras. So when he heard I was doing a show in London, he assumed it was £9.5.
Your school band?
Yeah, he thought I was like doing a fucking band performance in London.
We did get our friends Good Kid to open for us at the London show.
Yeah.
Should have just got £9.5.
Yeah, should have just got £9.5.
Do a double show, guys.
Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, wait, you're not doing a music show? This isn't a band? What are you guys doing?" And I was just like, "Oh my god, we have so much to catch on. How do I even begin to explain what we're doing right now?"
Game show that's
game
Talk
funny.
show, comedy show type
it's
thing.
funny.
Yeah, but I was impressed because pretty much everyone enjoyed themselves, even if they have no interest in anime, manga, or YouTube.
Well, yeah, that's like, I think when we were making the tour, that's one thing. We said this on the America tour thing as well. We were like, we just wanted to make it so that anyone could watch it.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of Trash Taste, then
get more
there's
out of
those
it,
like added bonuses, right?
Yeah. But I think knowing that our parents really enjoyed their time there.
I think also parents, like, it's just kind of a cool experience to get to go like backstage and then be like hang out and then just be like, all right, go to your seat now. Someone will help you. It's such a fun. I think it's like a cool experience because like I think a lot of people just don't get to do that as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So I think my parents. I know my mom and dad loved that. They were like, my dad was like, "What? We get to have free beer?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, it's our beer. It's not free, but it's free for you.
Oh, it was a totally different experience for me. I had like my entire family come back.
Garnt had like 40 people, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Garnt.
And it was just like
least small Asian family.
and everyone's like, "Let's take a picture," and I'm like, "Okay, how many different combinations am I taking today?" Okay.
It was kind of ridiculous. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, Garnt's family came out, like 5 people, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." And then 4 more Thai people came out. 5 more Thai people. 5 more Thai people. I was like, "Oh my god!"
It was like a clown car.
Yeah, it's like a clown
coming out.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
I didn't even take them to the green room because the green room would not fit my family, so I just took them out back by the bus.
Even without your family, 2 of the green rooms were just completely full. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but that's why the London show meant a lot to me, and I'm glad to say that it went out really well. Yeah, I'm glad to see. I actually have a pretty funny story of something that happened not during the tour, but this was like before the tour. So I get a message from my mum, right? So I get a message from my mum being like all excited because my dad had just come home and apparently he was shopping in town and someone looked at him and he was just like, "Oh, that's an interesting shirt you're wearing. Why are you wearing the shirt?" And he was like, "Oh, my son's a YouTuber," and with zero context. But the shop clerk was like, "Oh, is your son Giguk?" And he was like, "Yeah, how could you know?" And like he took a picture and I was like, I asked my mum, "Mum, how did he know that my dad was in town, or how could he guess that I was the son?" Yeah. So this is the shirt that my dad was wearing. As Mudan, I'll send this to you.
I can't believe your dad wore that shirt.
I can't believe he wore that shirt.
It says oppai.
It says insert oppai here. It is one of my old shirts one of my old meme shirts that I had like just lying about, and my dad just like decided to wear it and go into town.
When your dad rocked up to the show, he was wearing the purple shirt I always wear.
Oh, he was.
Damn, good drip.
He got that drip down.
Hell yeah.
He's like your number 1 fan.
Oh, he is now. Yeah.
He's so on board. I love it. I love how into it your dad is.
Every time we get a new merch drop, my dad's like, "Give me everything. Give one of each.
That's so sweet.
Give me it all." One thing I was nervous about though was not my dad, but my cousin wanted to bring my nephew over, and I was like very much warning my cousin, "Yo, at certain points in the show, please take them out because
not appropriate."
Yeah, it is not appropriate for their age. But it was weird seeing how it was oddly made me proud as an uncle, being like, shit, he is really fucking excited. And like being able to show him the bus, I was like, oh shit.
The tour bus is always like, I think impresses people the most.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's so hard to believe a bus can be so comfortable.
Yeah.
And like so, I guess.
And it's like you guys
so much
drive to different
utility.
countries in that thing. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
so it was such like a wholesome moment for me, because normally he's like a really shy kid, kind of like me when I was a kid, super shy, doesn't say much. When he was on the bus, he was asking like a million questions.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute, man.
Yeah, honestly, amazing experience doing it in front of my friends and family. I think like this, it kind of felt like a lot of the tour was like me like preparing for, you know, performing in front of my friends and family.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure for you as well, for the Welsh show, and performing in front of like your friends and family in Wales as well.
I guess our first show was the one in front of my parents, so I kind of was just like, I hope I remember how to do this.
Yeah.
No, you guys both crushed it.
Luckily it all worked out. It was a really fun show. I mean, Dublin's just Dublin is a very fun city to be in.
Yeah, the people are so fun there.
Yeah, and I think I was just glad because I haven't seen that much of my family all in one place in a while. So it was really cool.
Real question is, are you gonna want to perform in Australia?
Well, that's the question we've been getting, isn't it? Like now that we've done a tour in America,
Because I'm assuming your parents are going to go to that, right?
I mean, I assume so. Unless my dad's like, nah, it can't be fucked. Nah, I don't think they'll say that.
Cool to do a one-off show in Australia.
I mean, again, like the biggest question we've been getting now that we've finished the European tour is like, well, Asia tour next? And if that's the case, we have to go to Australia.
I think we'd have to figure out. We kind of figured out in the Europe tour how much harder logistics was compared to America.
Yeah, we should like the merch, because you can't travel with merch across borders, otherwise you pay taxes.
Yeah,
so you have to get it delivered, and obviously when you're, as you all know if you've ever lived in Europe, deliveries are not reliable at all.
Yeah, so one of the shows, the merch guys fucked up, and we almost weren't able to sell merch.
Denmark?
No, it was Rotterdam.
Yeah, Rotterdam or Amsterdam. I can't remember. Maybe it was Denmark.
No, it was Denmark.
Oh, was it Denmark?
Yeah. The merch didn't show up till after the show.
Yes, that's right.
Because one of the drivers of the delivery company missed the shipment. So our fucking team, I want to big it up to our team, who were fucking goated and sorted out somehow.
So professional.
So they hired someone to take 7 or 10 or something, a ridiculous amount of
boxes.
17 boxes of merch on a plane to Denmark, sorry. So we can get to our show on time, because we were this close to not having any merch of that show.
Yeah, because that's how you kind of make a lot of the shows profitable and make sense to do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times that's how, I'm sure you all know if you've watched music, that's how bands make most of their money.
Totally.
Yeah, and they somehow managed to make it happen. And that wasn't even like one of the most impressive things, because we found out, I think 3 days before our Cardiff show, that our venue had just closed.
Yeah.
It just closed.
It was so funny. So I was sitting on the bus, and I haven't used the BBC News app in a long time, because they changed it and the layout of it is now shit. And so I stopped using it because it was so annoying to navigate.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was on the back of the bus, and we were on our way to the Berlin show, and the one of our tour staff was in the back with us. And I was just scrolling on it, and I saw this news article that said, and it was posted 2 minutes ago. It was like, St. David's Hall closed in Wales. And I was like, that sure sounds like the venue that we're performing in. But
Let's check the poster real quick.
But St. David's in Wales, that's everywhere. Because he's like our only dude.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's have a look where it is. It's like St. David's Hall in Cardiff. And I was like, maybe there's 2 halls in Cardiff. Because we're having a show in a few days. There's no way it's closing.
Yeah.
And then I look up online. I was like, that's our venue. It's closed. And the reason why it was closed is because in the UK right now, there's this whole thing where there's a big scare going on because some buildings used aerated concrete.
Which I'd never heard of until this.
Which, my God, UK construction, man. I mean, of course we would use that, because we also use like an ungodly amount of asbestos as well.
Yeah. So what Why?
Why
did we use aerated concrete?
Cost-cutting measure. Yeah,
Oh, it's cheaper. I see.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you use less concrete and then it's aerated,
It's
then
cheaper, but it's also more brutal.
it's ridiculous. Yeah. So the venue was shut, and I think there was a brief moment when we all thought, oh, well, I guess the tour's finishing in London.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like it was logistically impossible to get a show in Wales.
We had 3 days to find and set up a new venue, with
which is
new
like
staff
normally an
members.
impossible.
Yeah.
Because we had a venue that was 1,200.
Yeah.
And you can't just transfer that size. But I think luckily we'd sold less tickets, which is normally not a lucky thing. But it worked out that we could find another venue last minute.
Yeah.
And it all
At
worked
the
out
university,
somehow.
right?
Yeah, the Students' Union University. Which was kind of fun because it was actually like a really cozy venue.
It was cool.
Felt
Like we were
super
really
cozy.
close to the audience,
Yeah.
even though there was 700 people there.
Totally.
It was a nice
still,
send off
yeah.
to the show. It was a nice, like, chill vibe. Going back to uni, everyone in Wales was super nice and
Yeah,
super
I gotta
chill
say,
as well.
big up to my Welsh viewers. You guys were by far, and you had some good competition, but everyone was super polite. in
Oh,
Wales.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like I was going in and out of the venue a lot, and people were like, "Oh, hi, Connor."
Yeah.
And they would just be like, "Oh, have a nice day," and they'd hold the door open for me and stuff. And I was
Aw.
like, "Dude, what the heck?"
That's so
Like,
nice.
Not that like it's just because like sometimes we were running and being rushing, and I feel bad when I gotta be like, I can't stop and talk. I'm sorry. They're like, "Oh, go ahead, see ya." Yeah, they're super polite. Good Welsh boys.
Yeah.
Good Welsh boys.
Well, one thing I found funny when we were in Wales actually is when we went to Cardiff Castle. And there was one super proud Welshman there, just telling us the history, because we were talking about how we were performing and our venue had closed down due to structural issues. And he was talking about, well, you should have just fucking performed here,
At Cardiff Castle.
Yeah, and he's been like, we've been invaded by the English, the Romans. We've been invaded so many times. They kicked our ass, and we're still here. And I'm like,
Most Welsh thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the cap of this place? Like 20?
I realize how I don't come across as Welsh at all because people kept asking me. They're like, "Is this your first time in Wales?"
Really?
Yeah, in all the stores I went to, and I was like, "No."
I guess it's because you've lost your accent.
I don't
right?
have, I never had a Welsh accent, but I don't sound Welsh. And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm Welsh." And she's like, "Oh, cool." I think I actually was sort of the one store clerk, and I knew right away. She thought I was doing that American thing where like you say like, "Oh no, I'm Irish."
Like I'm 1/8 Welsh.
I 100% was. I knew she was thinking that.
Yeah.
Just the
Yeah.
way that she responded to me was like, "Oh, that's nice." And I was like, "No," I didn't say anything. But in my head, I was like, "No, I speak the language.
America pilled.
I'm Welsh. I'm as Welsh as it gets."
You know what? I will say, I do enjoy traveling, especially to European countries with Americans. Because they are so easily impressed.
Oh my God, like-
and it was
Jessie, our tour manager, everywhere she went, she was just bright-eyed. Like she was like, "I fucking love it here." Like
I am so jealous of their energy because
Yeah.
growing up in English, it's like, yes, it's a fucking castle.
Yeah.
Like we got so many
I
of them
love the
here.
castle.
Yeah, and every time they'd see anything in Europe, it's just like, oh my God, that's so amazing. We were walking around Copenhagen, and our tour manager was so fucking enamored with like this European city, with Copenhagen, that we went to, I believe, like another castle there or something. And there was this Danish guard, one of the traditional Danish guards there, and he was just like marching. Like he had a gun, which he was like carrying this gun like a baby.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone handle a
Such
gun
passion.
so
I
delicately
see a
before.
picture of this Danish guy.
Yeah. And he was just like marching across like the castle, and our tour manager goes, "Oh my God, just look at the way he walks. He puts one foot in front of the other foot. It's just amazing." And I'm like, Jesse, that's just typically how people
You
walk.
just described walking. Like.
Oh wow, they look like British ones.
Yeah, no, they do.
What the fuck? Where did they steal
But
our
like they
thing?
were, but this guy was like hugging this fucking like AK.
Yeah.
and it was crazy. Like,
AK?
it
Is
was
that a standard issue in Denmark?
it was like a semi-automatic. Like
Wow.
It was a gun. We don't know our guns.
Yeah, I
okay?
don't know our
Joey
guns.
just said AK. I don't think it was
Yeah,
an AK.
it's pretty weird. What was it?
I don't know
Yeah.
what it was. It was a big gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be really cool seeing how you travel a few hours and it's a completely different culture.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one thing that I've always always felt, and one thing I've always kind of tried to explain is that I think the vastness of America is lost on Americans a lot of the time too. It's so big, and it's really hard to appreciate that there are differences in America. But I think just because of how kind of you all are so insular yet so separated at the same time, like the fact that it's a 6-hour flight from one side of America to the other is insane.
Yeah,
it's such a large country.
Yeah.
But that being said, when you go to Europe and you're like, I drove an hour and it's a different country and different culture and different language, it's got to be such a freaky experience.
For me, the concept of just driving to another country is so foreign to me.
Oh yeah, Australia.
Because Australia and Japan can't do that shit, you know?
Yeah.
So it was really cool, just like, you know, because I thought it was cool, like, on the first America tour where it was just like, oh, cool, we're in, like, a different state, you know, I just fucking fast travel to another city.
Yeah.
When this one, it was like, I just fast travel to another country.
Yeah.
And that was, like, wild to me.
Yeah, and you didn't need to show your passport as well.
No.
That's nice. I did have.
No, I know this. But yeah, this is going to stand out for the rest of my life. This moment.
I remember. So this wasn't on the tour. This was like my first time in Europe for a while. So this was when I went to Cologne for Gamescom.
Yeah.
So I land there, and there is 2 queues to get in the borders. One is the EU line, and one is the rest of the world line.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, last time I came here, it was like post-Brexit, but they still allowed us to go to the EU line, right? So I go to like the nearest clerk. I'm like, I have this passport. Can I go in the EU line? She looks at it, looks at me, and just goes, I was just like, oh fuck, Brexit has happened, man.
Yeah.
Join the rest of the peasants.
It was in Germany, so she was just like,
I had
nice
that
try.
as well when I went to Italy last year. I was like, yeah, I know. I didn't vote for this. I also, when we flew from Germany to London, and I knew that we should go in the all other passports lane in Europe.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, you look at me, and a lot of people are like, no, you can go in the EU one.
Yeah.
And in America, they think, no, go to the citizens line. I'm like, no, I'm not. I wish.
You get the fast pass.
a lot of the times, so we were walking, and they were like, oh, no, the EU passport's that way. And I show him our British passport on Garnts with me, and he goes, ugh.
I remember that.
He literally said, ugh, as he looked at the British passport. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. He like shuddered and was like, ew. I was like, we can't catch a fucking break. Man,
it's funny.
Tumblr 2013 era, British people were on top, dude.
Yeah.
We had it. Passport game was strong. We were revered. Now, man, 10 years later, we are bottom of the barrel. Now being British is a downside. Fuck, our passport's dog shit.
It's funny because I have the opposite every time I re-enter Japan, you know, because I look like this. So like there's the Japan line, and then there's the rest of the world line.
Yeah.
And I always just, you know, without thinking, I just like start rocking up to the Japanese line. Always the dude like in the middle is just like, excuse me, foreign passport. And I just fucking pull that shit out, just like, do you see this? Every time the guy's like, I'm so sorry.
But even when you're a foreign resident in Japan, you have to go and they fill out this form every single time you leave. I don't know if you have to do this in other countries, because I've never had a visa in another country. I don't think you do. But in Japan, when you leave Japan, you have to fill out a form at the airport saying you're going to come back to Japan if you have a visa.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is so annoying doing this every single time.
Yeah.
But even then, when I go in that line, they'll be like, oh, no, tourists this way. And I was like, what? This is literally for foreign residents. I am the person who's supposed to be in this one.
Do you see my card?
Yeah. So that's always a little fun. A little just micro complaints. You're like, it's just kind of fun to have, like, to feel special for a moment. Be like, no, I'm different.
It's great whenever I go back in Japan, I see the fucking massive line
for
the tourists, and I'm like,
the tourist line is so long in Japan.
Yeah, it's gotten so long.
You have the skipping line, which is the residence card.
And then there's us with the residence card line, which is just like, look
it's
at
like
these,
10 seconds.
Look at these tourists.
I can reliably time, because I've flown into Haneda Airport into Japan so many times.
Yeah.
I can I think I can like to a 5-minute accuracy tell you when I'm going to get out of the airport because I've done it so many times.
Like if I go now, it's a gold split.
By the time the plane lands, it's 15 minutes till I'm out of the airport every time.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
super fast.
Yeah.
If you get your bags instantly,
checked bags.
yeah, even then you get your bags so fast in Japan. It's crazy how quickly it is.
And you do like the customs thing online
You do it
beforehand.
online, so you scan your QR
scan
code,
your QR
boom,
code,
you're out.
yeah.
And then
little
you-
life hacks.
You literally leave the terminal and the taxi rank is like 2 seconds away. You go right down the stairs, boom, get in the taxi. I'm home in like 40 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm chilling.
Speedrun.
It's so good. I love airport any percent.
Haneda any percent.
Haneda is such a good airport. Please don't ever fly into Naruto if you can.
Yeah. It's gotten to the point now because we've flown a lot this year for business that, like, I've noticed like little things about airports that I never noticed before. Like whenever we go through security. And it's like the GigaChat fucking security machine. You know, the big ones where you do not have to remove
I
your
love it. I love it so
electronics
much.
or any like liquids. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good experience. And then you go to like the beta little like fucking micro machines where I bring like everything with me.
You know. It depends how beige and grey it looks.
Yeah.
The more beige and grey it looks, the more shit the security is going to be.
Yeah.
If it looks really bright and modern, it's just easy.
Yeah, like the ones in
Yeah.
Haneda, like the
Yeah.
huge white machines,
The,
you
like,
know,
the-
that just
yeah.
look like a space portal. Like,
They're so fucking good.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
it's like, oh, do I have to take my laptop out? And it's like, no, you don't. It's like, oh, thank God.
Which one of you was that guy giving a hard time at one of the airports? One of you were getting like grilled by the guy, and I was
that
literally
was
right next
Garnt, I
to you.
think.
yeah, that was me and Nabby. That's just,
I was literally standing right next to you. Was it in Dublin? It was Dublin, right? Yeah, Dublin.
Yeah.
And then they made you take off your shoes, right?
Yeah, they made me take
It
off my
was so
shoes.
weird. I was like sandwiched in between them, and I'm like, we are literally all the same, and I'm just chilling.
I mean, I thought I had it bad because I had to take my shoes off. And then
this
I
guy
looked back-
asked only Joey to take his shoes off.
Yeah, and then,
It's
and,
so
then,
weird.
and then I was like, all right, that's a bit weird, but whatever. Did it, went through fine. I was like, okay, whatever. I looked back. Garnt is emptying out his
Garnt
bag.
was getting the full course.
like the full probe.
yeah, this has never happened to me before, but I took my liquids and my laptops, every electron. I've done this enough times, and for some reason, they were all like, "Oh, we need to re-put your bag in." So I just thought, "Oh, maybe they need to re-put their bag in," and they asked me to like empty everything. I was like, "What is
Empty
going?"
the liquids.
Yeah.
Pour them on the table.
They literally like laid it out like it was a CSI crime
my
scene, you
God.
know? And they took out. Did they do that for you as well, Nabi? Yeah. Did they lay it out like a crime scene and just had on the tray and just like put it all
Exhibit
back
A.
in? Yeah, like Exhibit A. And I was just like, what is going? And I felt so bad because I saw you two just waiting for me, and I'm like, guys, I don't know what's going on. This has never happened before. I'm just trying to get through.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little bit of privilege.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It could have been anything. I don't know. But
I mean, I never get stopped. I've never been
That's
stopped.
privilege right there.
I've never been stopped at an airport.
Really?
I mean, look at me. I look so basic. I also like don't even. I'm so bad now. I've gotten to the point where they always scan my bag anyway because I bring so many batteries and weird stuff in.
Yeah.
I don't even take the laptops out anymore. Sometimes I just leave it all in because they're gonna scan it anyway.
They're gonna scan it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just leave it all in, and they're like, "Why didn't you take it out?" I'm like, "I forgot," and then they forget about it. And it's like two. I save time because I don't want. Dude, it's so annoying. I'm to fuck around with 4 trays, and then everyone's fighting to get in, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put it all in one.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna deal with the guy being.
And
a
it's
little
always
mad.
like the laptop always needs to be in a separate tray from the bag. And
Dude,
I'm like,
like-
And do you ever get those times where, because I take a laptop and like a Switch normally,
and they
right?
don't want them on top of each other.
And
Yeah.
the tray is big enough for one of them, but is just about too small just to have them both
yeah, it's
together.
like the laptop is like here, and then the
Yeah.
Switch is like kind of leaning on the
Yeah,
laptop.
yeah.
And the guy's just like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you put it in a different
extra tray. And I'm like, oh, yeah, God.
It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
Yeah, it do be like that. But yeah, honestly,
Literally
this was-
first world problems.
This is I mean, listen. When you spend like how many days a year we spend in the airport, you notice you're like, damn, these little efficiencies piss me off.
I genuinely wonder this year, since we've been doing so much traveling, like if we were to calculate it, how many days do you reckon we've been at an airport?
I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about how much time I spent flying.
Yeah.
I think we could easily calculate it.
You reckon?
I think I've spent like at least 10 days in the air this year, at least.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
probably about the
that
same.
the thing that I've kind of like taken, like, my mentality has changed right now is, there can be some places, like even flying to Europe, where in your mind it's like, oh, it's just an hour and a half flight. What you don't really factor in for is the travel time to the airport, how long you have to stay in the airport, how long you have to, like, the kind of like the hustle and bustle
Customs,
of, like,
all that shit
getting
too.
through customs and everything like that. An hour and a half flight to a different country turns into like a 4-hour journey out of your day.
Oh,
dude,
it's
4 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
Bullet trains are goated.
Sorry?
Bullet trains are goated.
Yeah, right? Which
You
is
just rock
unlike-
up 5 minutes before, get on
Yeah.
it, chilling, get some coffee, and then you're off in like 2
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
So good.
It's just like travel days are more than just the time on the vehicle. It's like everything around the fucking travel
totally,
day as well,
totally.
which you don't really factor into. But if you do enough times, you're like, oh, this is a lot of hours in my life that I'm losing, like traveling.
I do think when you travel a lot, you get this really weird perspective of travel, where I used to think of it as such a huge event that I was like traveling, and then now I'm like, oh no, I just don't think about it. Like I'll do like a 4-hour travel day, and I'll be like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Like, I still have lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
kind of like that. That's the only thing that throws me off. If I can't have like a lunch or dinner,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't really like pinpoint where I'm at in the day.
Like, does the travel time feel shorter for you?
Yeah, like because like I've done shoots where I've taken the bullet train to Kyoto and then come back in the evening, and I'm like,
Right.
that's weird because that's like a 5-hour total
Yeah,
journey.
that's a long time.
But it doesn't feel that bad when you kind of it's like spread out, and then you're also so used to traveling, and also you get really good at finding what to do while traveling. I think that's something.
Yeah.
Like I used to always download like 500 Netflix shows, and I used to like prepare everything I was going to watch or what I was going to read, and
So,
now,
so what's your go-to now?
now I figure out 10 minutes before I get on the plane. I'm like, okay, I'll download this one Netflix thing, and I'll probably sleep, and then I'll
Yeah.
I'll buy the Wi-Fi and play some chess, or
Yeah.
like I don't think about it too
Nah,
much.
I'm the opposite. I
know you do. I know you
I
do.
constantly have a library of things that I can watch. I love traveling because it's my
Yeah,
one
you catch
time
up on stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's my one time when I can just shut off the world. I never buy the online Wi-Fi. I never do
I always
that.
buy the online Wi-Fi.
No,
I'm
no,
just-
I
I'm a
don't
cunt
buy
for
it.
I maybe play a game on my Switch, or I watch a movie, or watch some anime that I need to catch up on. It's great. It's just a time where I can shut off from the world and just do shit that I don't have to feel guilty, doing, I guess.
And no one can fault you for it because
Yeah.
you're on a plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I just say, oh yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm not gonna reply. I'm on a plane,
Yeah.
but I have internet. And,
I'm just not reading.
Well, sometimes
Yeah.
you like, it's just like you're not in the vibe, you know. Also, you know what pissed me off as well that I found out? I was like, okay, the first time I ever took a business class flight was like I think last year. I was super stoked about it, and I was super pumped because I thought, like, you see all these videos, you're like, it looks so luxurious, and I was like, oh hell yeah, you pay so much money for it, it's like a ridiculous amount, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait. Sit down, I open the Wi-Fi, I'm like, excuse me, how do I get on the Wi-Fi? She's trying to make me pay. She's like, oh no, you have to pay for the Wi-Fi. I was like, what? What? This is like a $5,000 plane seat. I have to pay $20 for the Wi-Fi? What?
Again,
how does that make sense?
another reason why I don't pay for online flight
That is
Wi-Fi.
like the single biggest scam in business class or like whatever, that they still make you pay for Wi-Fi. And I found out it's because it's not run by the plane. It's like separately contracted out. It's some fucking weird thing like that. But
Oh,
I was
really?
like, that's fucking dumb. What
Yeah.
a dumbass fucking. Why should I pay? You already paid an ungodly amount for like just a chair basically that's slightly bigger. What the fuck?
a chair that's slightly bigger.
Okay, it can recline. That's,
Yeah, it can turn into a bed.
Yeah, it's the game changer.
Exactly.
That
I mean-
does make a 12-hour flight a lot easier.
Oh my god, totally.
Yeah, I mean, would you guys? I don't know. Are you guys thinking about traveling as much next year? Because we did a lot this year.
I mean, I say no, but I will.
Yeah. That's kind of what I figured out. Because, like, last year I said the exact same thing about 2023. I was like, damn, I did so much traveling in 2022. 2023 is going to be the chill year. Turns out I've traveled more this year than I think I have in my entire life combined.
I think I only feel like I've really traveled like a big amount if it's longer than a week. If it's
Yeah.
less than a week, I don't think about it much. I'm like, oh, it's chill.
That's true.
Yeah.
But if it's over than a week, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to do more next year. Is just kind of like non-work related short travel. Maybe like less than a week type of travel, just because I want to go somewhere. Like I still want to explore like a ton of like Southeast Asian countries because I just
Yeah.
feel like it's a waste to not go there living in Asia.
Yeah.
So I want to do more of that next year with Aki and like, yeah, I don't know. But again, we say all of this. it's probably going to be more traveling next year. Let's be real.
We'll see.
Let's be real.
I mean,
We'll see what
traveling to
happens.
America is a must for work.
Exactly.
I want to travel more for holiday. I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
take more holiday next year.
Totally.
Yeah. This has been great.
That's why October, November for me, I'm fucking staying in Japan. I'm not going anywhere. I say that, but I'm going to Okinawa.
So you're not staying.
So it's still Japan technically.
Yeah. Just a 3-hour flight.
Just a 3-hour flight.
All right, completely changing gears since this is a current episode, more current than it's been for a while. So let's use the opportunity to talk about something current. So aside from bread, one question we got asked at every show.
Yep.
Every show was our opinion of the One Piece live action.
Yes.
Which by the time this has come out, should have come out about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, maybe.
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well,
I got 1 episode left to watch.
Oh yeah.
So I've watched 7 episodes.
Yeah.
okay, because I've only seen the first 2, and I'm saving the rest for
Okay.
my flight back.
I've watched it all. So
Okay.
yeah.
It's 8 episodes, right?
It's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
And that's that review. Thank you very much.
That's that segment, everyone.
Yeah.
Listen, like I'm watching it and I'm having a good time, but it's like I'm not like desperate to keep watching. You get what I mean? Like I don't feel.
Do you feel like that's because you already are into One Piece?
I think there's definitely part of that.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to watch it with a fresh perspective.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's way easier to go from that to the manga rather than vice versa.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Because like obviously I have preconceived notions of segments I really liked, and when they changed them, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. It's hard to get rid of that. So like.
Yeah.
I think like honestly, this is honestly like one of the best live action adaptations I've ever seen.
I think
It's definitely up there.
as an adaptation, it is 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
As a standalone TV series, which I think is important to judge,
Yeah.
like not just as an adaptation, I think it's like a fun 7 or 8 out of 10 show.
I would give the entire One Piece live action like an 8 or 7.5 maybe.
Yeah,
Which
it's like
for a live action
Which
is
for live
crazy.
action.
like I don't feel like I could show it to normies.
No, actually,
I don't think I could.
I think. Okay, here's the
like
thing.
Proper normies.
Yeah. No. Okay. This showed me the One Piece live action showed me the power of like why people are trying to make live action anime adaptations. So like I get a message from my cousin before the show. And he's like the biggest fucking normie of all time, you know what I mean? And it's not just him, his wife as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Both totally like uninterested in anime at all. And I get a message being like, oh, I know this is totally like not anime, but we watched the One Piece live action.
That's pretty good. Okay,
And
maybe I'm wrong.
we're actually like not just me, but my wife as well. We're actually really interested in getting into the anime.
Oh, wow.
Good fucking luck with that.
And I was talking to Sydney's brother as well, who you know is more of a
Yeah,
nerd,
he
but
does not,
definitely not the anime type of nerd.
Sure.
You know, he watched the One Piece live action and he was like, "Fuck, I did not think I would enjoy that, but that was really good."
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just have too. Maybe I'm too.
Yeah.
You know, we've had to hide in the shadows for so long, anime fans.
Yeah.
Be very careful about which anime to
It's the
recommend.
preconceived notion of like, oh, the live action is for
Yeah.
the anime fans only, right? Yeah.
But I think that's like, so like watching the live action, I think there's 2 amazing things that they did. One was obviously, I think like one of the biggest weaknesses was, you know, there are some moments, especially I think during Arlong Park, that don't hit as hard as they did in the original anime or
Right,
manga.
right.
Yeah, that's fair.
and
That's
you
fair.
know, I think like in my personal opinion, the Arlong Park arc needed maybe an extra episode just to really flesh out.
Dude, it's kind of. Did you feel like other segments had too many episodes? Because
Yes, I felt like Usopp's arc had one too many episodes.
It was,
And I
it was too long.
Yeah,
it was
and
too long.
I felt like Arlong Park could have used that extra episode because that was like one of the hardest hitting moments. I mean, it wasn't like the moment was bad. It just definitely did not hit as hard as it did in the anime or manga just because there was way less screen time. But, you know, you still had the important moments and everything like that.
Yeah.
Sanji having a British accent took me by surprise. I'm not gonna lie, like a London accent. I was like, whoa, I did not expect that for Sanji.
Luffy, it's Sanji.
He's kind of he's kind of like that. What you mean my cooking's bad?
I really like that though.
No,
Garnt being Scottish and
was
just
Scott,
just like works.
I think it all like I actually like the casting. I actually all enjoy. There's not a single casting I didn't enjoy.
Yeah,
I thought all of them were pretty spot on.
I also like the fact that they didn't resort to using like high profile actors and actresses as well.
I also like that there was a lot of the. It looked kind of goofy at times, but a lot of them were like just like practical effects for the costumes.
Yeah.
Like they were like Arlong looks fucking weird, but he would look weird. So I'm kind of glad he looks fucking weird and cursed.
The best way I can say it, which is one amazing thing that they did, is despite how fucking goofy and stupid all the character designs are,
fucking stupid.
they never felt like anime. You know, they felt like they.
Some of them felt anime.
I mean, they always felt like they existed in its own fictional world, right? It didn't feel like I was watching like a Japanese live action anime adaptation where it was just like everyone
try to act like anime
where they try to act like anime characters. I just felt like these just were goofy characters in a goofy world. It almost felt like, you know how have you guys ever seen like a stage play or something like that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so you know how when you're watching a stage play,
like that.
you have props that are meant to represent something, and it's not like a fucking Hollywood set. It's just a simple stage set or a prop that is just meant to give you the idea. That's what it felt like. You knew that these practical effects and these like makeup effects, you knew that it doesn't exist in the real world, but they sold it enough that in your mind you kind of like you allowed your suspension of disbelief to really go into this fictional world, because one of the thing I really think that the One Piece live action did correctly was really sell you on the whole world of One Piece, you know, this fictional the world building of One Piece with like all of these different factions, the fishmen and everything as well.
I didn't realize how, I won't lie, it did piss me off after a while where he kept saying, I'm going to become king of the pirates. When you read it, it isn't that annoying, but he said it like every 2 minutes and I was like, okay, I get it. I get it, Luffy. I get it that it's your thing and you do this a lot, but my God, stop. And also, there was a few moments I think it did a lot of amazing things and it was really fun. There were a few moments where the dialogue really did take me out of it for a moment and I felt like it could have been a little bit better. Oh fuck! I was watching episode 6, and it felt like there was like I can't remember. There was one scene where I think they were around the bed, and there was just this scene where it felt like they were all just talking separately, and they weren't talking to each other, and it was really weird.
Like NPCs.
It was very bizarre. It was like a really weird conversation because then there was some other conversations that were really good. Like every Garp scene, I thought that it was kind of interesting how they did this dialogue. But there's also did you see when I watched it? I thought it was a weird transition, and then I'm so glad that someone posted it on Twitter and thought this was a weird transition because I felt so validated. There's a transition when they did with the Go board.
Oh, I remember
and
that.
it was so fucking weird. They did a transition where they put a piece on the Go board and then the Go piece transitioned into Luffy's hat top down. It was a very jank transition. And then they also walked on their mark kind of weird, like Luffy didn't start walking until someone walked next to him, so as if to say his mark. It was kind of weird. It was a very nitpick, but it was those kind of things that like kind of you kind of get like for a moment you're like this is a show. And you know, those are very 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 slight nitpicks, but I think I think it's when you watch a show like this and everyone's getting so hyped around it, I think it is fair to be like, hey, it's okay to have some things you didn't like and have some concerns, because
I do feel like there were so many micro decisions that I noticed that maybe not a lot of people noticed that I think really worked well.
There's some very good quality of life changes.
Like I felt it was fucking genius to have only certain characters shout out attack names. Right?
Right.
Because I think there is only Luffy, Buggy, and at the end Sanji who shouts out attack names.
Right.
And it all felt in character. Like because I was wondering when I was watching the trailer, if people shout out attack names, it's going to be cheesy as fuck. But, you know, when Luffy shouts out, when Buggy shouts out, I'm like, all right, you know, because it's Luffy and Buggy.
That's their character.
But everyone else is just like, it's just a normal fight scene. And I thought that was fucking genius.
Because I don't know if I could, you know, like maybe take Zoro seriously. If he was like, Onigiri!
Santoryu! With like the fucking sword in his mouth. And it'd be like,
I guess now that I'm really done with it and I'm like, I would like to watch more. My concern is, how do you make more?
How do you make Chopper?
There's a lot of characters, a lot of fights that get really weird, really bizarre, and I feel like the start of One Piece is when it's most adaptable in terms of one-to-one live action,
because like simplicity, right?
Because it's the gum, the gum shit is weird, but I mean they did a great job animating that stuff. But how when it gets really fucking weird, also it's long. These characters are going to get old. The actors are going to get old. The budget is crazy. Like, how do you go about this?
I would like to see more as well. That's why I actually really hope that.
Yeah, I want more. So
I definitely want more because I feel like they would give a little more time now that they know that it is a success. It is popular, especially when it gets Alabaster. That gets more than 2 episodes.
What was it, like $17 million on average an episode? Was it?
Sheesh.
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know. I saw it. I can make it up. Can we fact check? How much? What was the budget of the One Piece?
But I guess to answer your question while we're checking, one thing that I was actually like very impressed with in terms of like the writing, which was like I was so scared of going into the One Piece live action, is I call it fucking Marvel syndrome.
Yeah, $17.27 million per episode.
Per episode,
$138 million for the first season.
We'll get at the Marvel Center. That's a lot of money. The level of success that it needs to sustain that is good. I think it's got it. I think it's proven that it's value in it.
Yeah, the set design was insane.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that they can keep the budget going and the show can keep popping off because I want to see more of it.
Yeah, because as I was saying, I think the reason why the goofiness kind of worked was like it didn't do this thing which I think a lot of Hollywood films and especially Marvel movies do, where when like something weird happens, especially like there's a thing in like Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man, where one of the characters looks fucking like atrocious, like an abomination, and the entire joke is just everyone laughing at how stupid this guy looks. Look at this big guy with this like wide face. It's so funny. And considering how many weird things happen in One Piece, there was never a single moment where the joke was, wow, that just happened. That was weird. I just saw a clown.
Yeah, they never pointed out.
Yeah, they never pointed it out, and that like that. Look at that.
They always felt like they trusted the joke. They had faith in it.
Yeah, and like think like subconsciously, because none of the characters felt it was weird.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was weird because no one pointed out how weird it was. So I was like, oh, this is just normal to exist in this world. Yeah. So even if some things looked out of place, none of the characters really drew attention to it, so I didn't draw attention to it, and I thought that was fucking genius in terms of the writing.
Totally.
Yeah,
I hope we get more, and I hope it doesn't take forever. Obviously, there's a lot of strikes going on right now, so we're probably not gonna,
probably not gonna be for a while,
which sucks because I wonder if they're gonna have to do like a James Cameron approach where you film as much of it now while the actors are all still young. Because oh my god, this is gonna be, if they do it. If they film it as they're like, I guess, reaching it, it'll be like, what, like 15 years?
Well, how long did the One Piece live action take for production again? It was like,
I don't know, 2 years, 2-3 years, I think.
I think it was longer than that.
Yeah,
obviously...
It's like 4 or 5 years.
Apparently the script's ready, the next one.
Oh, really?
But they just need to, the strikes need to be agreed on, and prices and stuff, which obviously means that it's, we're not going to see it for a while. Which is kind of sad, because the one thing that kind of sucks about current TV is that because they have to wait to see how a show does, we often have massive gaps between season 1 and 2 of shows, because back in the day they'd be like, oh yeah, this is a good pilot, give it 900 episodes. So you'd get a lot, and it was good. Late 2024, early 2025. That means early 2025 for sure.
Yeah,
there's no way
that definitely means early 2025.
At earliest, there's no way. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait like 2 years until we've already
So I don't know if this is a hot take. It might be a hot take.
Okay.
I think
I know what you're gonna say
that the One Piece live action is a better introduction than the anime.
Okay, wait. Does this include the manga?
It does. It does not.
This is a big thing to say now. You have to be very careful.
I have to be careful, but
I think the anime is fine to say that, because I think a lot of people agree that the anime is extremely slow when it starts, and the pacing is the main issue and the reason why a lot of people get turned off. And I think this is the fact that we get through 10 volumes in what doesn't feel like too long.
Okay,
I think that's fair.
So yes, if I knew the person was an anime fan or like already into like anime and manga, I would recommend the manga.
Yeah.
But if
They're
it's
super
someone
normie. Yeah,
who
that's fair.
maybe has no interest in anime or manga, I would actually recommend the live action over any other One Piece media to get them into the world of One Piece.
No, I agree with
How
that.
many episodes does it take for them to finish Arlong Park in the anime?
52.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's just too much. That's just, that's just,
yeah.
It's a lot.
that's just too much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what if you cut down the One Piece live action, it'd be what 20 episodes.
Yeah.
because it's like about an hour.
I think you know, I think Arlong Park is definitely stronger in the anime. For
sure.
I think
I believe that.
for like the trade-off you get for like the impact of Arlong Park and maybe some of like Sanji's arc hitting less strongly with the anime, I think that's offset by just how streamlined the live action is. It feels way more streamlined. You know,
Yeah, I agree.
there's a lot of fats that has been trimmed off.
No, I agree. I agree.
And just the way that characters get introduced, I feel like, because you know in like the anime or the manga, it's like every character one episode at a time gets introduced and you're like, okay, when
It's
are we
a very
going on this
sluggish
adventure?
start, yeah.
It's a very sluggish start, whereas in the live action we get like Nami and Zoro just introduced at once, and you get that or one thing that I really like, you almost get that instant chemistry between the banter between the three of them, almost like after episode 1. And that's what I love about One Piece.
Yeah, I think it makes sense though, because like especially with the manga, for instance, like, you know, it was the story was just starting off, so I think Oda was still trying to get a footing on like, okay, what's the general vibe I want to go with when introducing these characters, or like, you know, what's like the most best way to do it. So I think he was like kind of testing out a lot of things in terms of like how to streamline that story, whereas now that it's been so established, and you know, he was part of the writing team for the live action, he was just like, all right, I know exactly what I did right, what I did wrong when I first started the manga, so we're just gonna cut off all the, you know, shit parts that I included in the manga and just like make it so that it's just straight up.
I was very skeptical. I was like, I don't know how well he'll know how to translate it to film or be able to assist with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the writing team crushed it.
Totally.
And obviously having his supervision probably definitely helped. It's cool. I'm just glad it worked out. I'm just happy. I'm happy we got something that's great, and I just hope that now it doesn't struggle to get off and get into season 2 and 3.
I really hope it doesn't start a trend of now. I mean, it's already started the trend.
Live action.
Everyone wants to do live action anime.
I mean,
now.
look at
My Hero Academia live action is in the works
But I mean,
now.
look at the budget and the amount of time and the amount of care that's to go in to make just a good live action adaptation. Like this is ungodly amounts of resources to make this
so
work.
upcoming
Yu
live action
Hakusho.
adaptations.
Oh
we
my
have
god, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
The problem is if you
Avatar.
cannot make Death Note work as a live action, you are beyond all hope of saving. It is such an easy formula for a good thriller. Like, it's such a straightforward premise that the only hard thing to kind of really fit in is the Shinigami.
Yeah.
And if you can nail that, the story's laid out for you. Like, I don't feel like it should be that hard. But
And yet they still fucked it up.
Still fucked it up.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping, bro, if we can't get a fucking good... I mean, they fucked up the first one so
Wait,
badly.
there's a Pokemon live action coming out too?
I could see that working.
I mean, I guess
As a Saturday
Detective
show,
Pikachu worked. So
Detective Pikachu was great.
yeah. That's true.
If
That's
there's
true.
one, My Hero Academia, I'm scared about.
I'm very scared of that one.
I am very, very scared about that.
And it's Zack Snyder as well.
Is it Disney? Oh, it's Disney. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's not. It's Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they nailed the...
Sword Art Online.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
go.
Here's
You
the-
know, actually, okay, hear me
No,
out.
fuck
Hear me
off.
out,
No,
guys.
fuck off.
Maybe
No,
they can
no,
make it
no.
better.
Okay,
They can improve it.
Here's the deal. Netflix now gets one good anime adaptation faith. They get one. We're all going to be like, guys, hear them out.
Yep.
And if they fuck it up, we're all going to go back to being like, One
Back to
Piece was
zero.
One Piece was a fluke. It was a
Yeah.
one-off. This doesn't happen.
Because
Yeah.
the problem with One Piece is that on paper, it shouldn't have worked like
No.
that.
No,
Out
it's-
of every live action
I think every
adaptation-
single One Piece fan thought it was going to be dog.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
totally.
No way.
Holy shit, yeah. And it was just One Piece. Maybe I'm being that toxic One Piece fan right
It
now,
feels
but
good to be-
maybe
no, it
it's
feels
just
good. It feels good to be
maybe
an
it's
anime
just
fan.
because maybe it's just because One Piece is goated, you know? Maybe that was the reason.
Okay, all right, okay, God, all right.
Sure.
All right.
All right, well, that's our thoughts on One Piece. Everyone has been asking us. There
Yeah.
it is. That's
Yeah.
it. And that's how the European tour went.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
also,
been...
thank you to everyone who came out to see us on the
Yeah,
European
appreciate it.
tour.
Appreciate
It was
it.
absolutely awesome. And,
And Germans, I am sorry. It'll take another 2 years, but maybe I'll have another redemption arc.
Yeah, it's time to redeem himself. Well, I'm in the same boat as you, Garnt, and I've been to Germany a lot, so they hate me now.
I got your backs, Germans. Don't worry.
But Joey, do the thing.
Hey, look at all these patrons, though. You see them on the screen right now?
Oh my God, there's so many of them. So many.
Hey, if you'd like to support us, then go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us your memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And we're gonna do a few more episodes in this studio, so get used to it.
Two more.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.